Brit? Murray? Prison?
God damn it. I can't give you a -1.
We had a pretty wild time. We drove the van into the woods
Yeah.
until we couldn't drive it
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. Until the woods were woods.
We killed
wild
some
land.
clowns.
You killed
Yeah.
a few clowns. Yeah.
Some of us struggled to keep up. I don't think we need to name names.
My notes
Somebody-
literally say awkward fell down twice in all caps.
Yeah. Awkward had a big heavy bag of fucking powder in his backpack for no reason. Which,
That's
by the way,
right.
spilled every goddamn where. Your entire inside of your bag
You
is
look like
covered
a
in that
ghost.
fucking powder. Like, you opened up the bag to get that powder out and realized, like, oh no. Like, you had a brief moment of like, oh shit, am I gonna have to like shovel it out of my bag with my hands? How
It's
much of
funny.
it came out?
It's funny that it looks as it goes because like his white hair is not helping.
Yeah.
We also found a staircase of pact magic. We saw through piecing a lot of things together, we saw that this was a staircase within a manor house to the Bentons. Some significant time ago, and this staircase was a manifestation of a system of deals where humans or earthlings would climb up the staircase, and creatures would be freed and released and come down the stairs. These included the Rusties, who came down the stairs, and the party doesn't know this, but Cam called her agency and got instructions for a ritual.
Yeah,
Uh,
called the agency for sure.
called the
Sure.
agency.
Sure
Mhm.
did.
Sure
uh,
did.
and got us some instructions for banishing the staircase. Actually, I don't recall if we destroyed the staircase
The
or if we
funny
just
thing
ended
is that
magic.
you don't actually know what it was for, other than it was what you needed.
Oh,
Like,
right. Yeah.
you're like, it's the circle that's gonna handle it, and you were like, I kind of get how this is supposed to work. Like, it is going to contain it. What containment means, whether you banished it, whether you just moved it, whether you shunted it, you don't really know. It just isn't there anymore.
We just fixed it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you did fix it. You got a magical circle that fixed the problem.
Yeah.
In a way that only, like, ostensibly Cam would maybe know, except Cam isn't that kind of field agent. Yeah.
And then
Got
we
it
heard.
all under control.
Yeah, you got it covered.
Everything's fine.
And then we heard the voice of the fella, the fellow, as I have him in my notes, who spoke out loud so everyone could hear him. And then we went to Denny's to talk about it.
Yeah. The post-battle Denny's chat.
Mhm.
Yeah, to cover some of the other lore bits, Awkward pinged that the Bentons were a family similar to the Edwards, but they died out much, much earlier. Additionally, there was a manor house here, but the manor house was gone in a way that was clearly paranatural, in that there was no foundations, there was no nothing besides the staircase. That was the thing that remained. And that it is unclear how the staircase worked, other than a sacrifice is needed, somebody goes up the stairs, and a wish is granted, either by something coming down the stairs or by something happening. And the Bentons used it for great effect for a very long time, until something happened, and then they're gone. And as you left things, you had banished, shunted, wherever it went. You were standing in a bit of the forest that was completely devoid of any signs that there was even a clearing, even a very small clearing here. You just standing in forest. What else? Yeah, Cam got some instructions. Yeah, Deb got the coroner's report, which was just that the kid got stabbed a bunch. Cam got the list of got a list of some of the recent people that have gone missing. But also Cam followed up a little bit with the Braden, the kid that went missing first, basically, and the one that you guys saw walk up the stairs in the kind of pseudo vision. Okay, so first things first. Yeah, Max, you're good. Take the +1.
Actually, I have a non-mechanical question.
Uh-huh.
Was there an update to the game or the Roll20 version of it? Because there's text on my character sheet that was never there before.
There shouldn't be, not that I
Yeah.
know of.
It's under Smite. It has a whole new detail of explaining what non-unique weaknesses are, and that was never
Oh.
there before.
Weird. Yeah, there's not an update that I'm aware of, but
Okay.
okay, cool.
It explains to me what a non-unique
It certainly
weakness is.
does. Okay.
Yeah. Which it also names unique weaknesses, like the
Which-
spear of Hamwawa.
Yeah, to be fair, this is literally what we talked about, right? Where, like, broadly speaking, you're covered, but there are some very specific things. Like, although I enjoy that it made it more clear. That's good.
Yeah, and it adds more clarity to it.
If anybody else has any random text on yours that clarifies things, let me know.
Yeah,
This
I'm not
is
seeing it.
this is a non-unique weakness.
Yeah. I'd add shit like silver to that as well, right?
Yeah,
It's
it seems to be
silver,
indicating like these
iron,
kinds of things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Which you guys have already interacted with the weakness mechanic in that way. Okay. This particular case is going to start about 2 weeks later. Meaning, we'll say like 2 weeks later on a Sunday. You guys have had 2 weeks post the Rusty incident to do whatever it is, either investigation or whatever your day-to-day life looks like. Is there anything anybody wants to have covered in that 2-week period?
Every morning I make it to the edge of the town, get turned around, and yell "fuck" to this guy.
Yep. Yeah, have you gotten like more aggressive about trying to get out?
I don't think so. No, every day, because it's not like "fuck" I'm angry at you. It's like "fuck" I'm stuck.
You take a
Uh,
bus to leave and it breaks down.
Exactly.
Awkward. You've hit the problem now that's happened a couple times that's really frustrating, right? Which is that when you want to leave, you're not actually allowed to go into the forest. But when your intention isn't to leave, you can go into the forest and go pretty far, right? So like you went deep into the forest last time, and also you went into the forest when you were camping. But when your intention is to get the fuck out, you like hit the city limit and find yourself turning around and walking back in. And your eyes blink and you're back at your fucking hotel room.
I like to think at one point he like had this thought, and he just right before he's about to leave, he looks up and goes, "I promise not to leave," and then waits for a response, and then walks and wakes up in his room.
Yeah, you like leave the hotel room door and walk back into the hotel room door. Like no like awareness of time in between there. As far as you know, you did just walk out, turn around, and walk back in.
Since it's been 2 weeks, can I take away this damage?
Yeah, everybody who
Okay,
has
cool.
damage can heal naturally.
Okay.
Anyone else? We've got day jobs for at least 2 of you. Deb, you running Ubers.
Mhm.
Nothing
I
much
think-
to report on that.
Yeah, I think it's 95% running Uber, 2% like maintaining other contacts at the police station, and 3% obtaining cocaine for Wayne Odegaard.
Yeah. You got the spice has to keep flowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
I think I'm making sure in this period to host another uh UFO survivors meeting,
Yeah.
close encounters meeting,
Yeah.
and
Where do you
I think
host it?
especially I think that I usually end up hosting them at the coffee house,
Yeah.
just because I know that that's reliable,
Uh-huh.
and no one can tell me no.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a public setting, so I'm not inviting strangers to my home. Uh, and I think I go to like social media or some other like community forums and advertise this month's meeting a little bit heavier. Um, and I bake for it. I make some
Mm-hmm.
like spiral cookies
I
this
think
time.
give me a charm roll.
Okay.
Just because I want to see there won't be any like problems with the failure, no like hard moves or anything. I just want to see like generally how this goes.
All right. I got my one forward.
Yeah.
Hooray!
I
Thank you,
think
one forward.
it's a weird case of you put an earnest effort into like the online part, right? But what actually works this time that didn't seem to click before is that some of the employees, like word of mouth, spreads a little bit. And most of the people that show up this time, which is more people than usual, are college students.
Yeah, folks who are incidentally more connected to recent tragedy.
Well, right. And almost, you would note that almost all of them are out of towners. It's not
Oh, okay.
uncommon for, people to be out of towners attending there. But there is like one person who's from here. Like
Um, given how
statistically
long,
lower. Go
okay,
ahead.
given how long I've been here and how and my understanding of this place is, am I more familiar with the fact that locals seem to forget, and so I don't usually expect locals?
Um I will say the locals you usually get, if any of them show up, would be the ones who are cranks a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with this place, obviously, is that it's impossible to really discern if they are indeed cranks or if, like, some of the shit they say is outlandish. Some of the stuff veers a lot more towards the, problematic side of the conspiracy spectrum. And
Mm-hmm.
those people don't stick around very long.
I don't
But
tolerate them for long enough.
yeah, that's not. Like there are clearly some people who are in the know, like they know enough or they seem to be slightly resistant to the usual effects. Um but those are the people who usually show up if they show up at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't get a lot of locals that are non-believers because they would find it stupid.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, cool. I just try to make some connections and spend some time like trying to observe anyone who I think might have possibly been a survivor of an encounter.
Interestingly, Deb, you know that Maddox attends this particular meeting this time.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. Uh
could I interact with Maddox?
sure.
Okay.
Maddox is there with a very, very thin, fairly young looking girl who is still like 2 or 3 inches taller than him. Uh,
Okay.
and the way that they're interacting is clear, like this is a significant other.
Okay. I'll go up to him and say, "Hey, you've been in before, right? Matt.
Maddie is fine. Yeah.
Okay, hey Maddie, how are you?
Hey, you're Deb's
Yeah,
friend?
sure. Yeah,
Associate.
Harlow.
Well,
Name's
sorry. I
Harlow.
think the correct word is usually associate.
Um, maybe not as formal as
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harlow, your read on this kid is just the standard level of freshman awkward. Like
Yeah. Just
just
not weird.
real just like a trying like you have activated a specific fear, which is being singled out in a public gathering. And he does have backup here, right? The like girl who is with him is listening, but she doesn't look like she particularly wants to talk. And you kind of get the sense in that interaction that she is probably just here accompanying him, right? This isn't really her scene.
Yeah. So I'll say, how did you hear about our meeting?
Oh, somebody put I guess it's not like a is it a flyer if you just draw words on a piece of it's a flyer. It was a flyer.
Oh, okay. Oh, neat.
Yeah.
So have you seen anything before?
No. No.
You're just hoping to hear a weird story or
What
something.
yeah, just, hear I would just want to hear about some maybe weird stuff, Just in
Sure.
case.
Yeah. Well, so I do host camping trips like once a month, where we go out into the woods as well, and kind of like poke around for strange things. Most of the time, we're encountering like raccoons or possums, and that's like kind of fun, but like it kind of demystifies some of the like scarier parts of uh, what I'll generously label the conspiracy element of the paranatural.
Yeah. Uh he furrows his brow, leans in a little bit, because you have the fellow believer thing, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. And he says, I don't like the forest very much. It creeps me out.
I feel like you're being watched, huh?
It it kinda, but more, I don't know. You see, he doesn't clam up as in like not wanting to share more necessarily, but clams up in terms of like realizes he hasn't formalized the thought well enough to actually communicate it, right? Like you realize it's half formed and just kind of
Well, I mean, I usually plan events around the college calendar, um, mostly for the folks who work the shop. But if that is the case, you really should come out with us. It might help you figure out what feels more realistic to be frightened of, you know?
okay. Yeah. Uh sure. Yeah. Um I guess just let Deb know and Deb will let me know.
Sure thing. And you can bring along friends. He like gestures to the girl he's not really spoken to yet.
She smiles as her eyes flick and you hear her murmur, "Not a fucking chance." And he looks at you and shrugs, kind of smiles sheepishly.
And I mean, like, the worst that can happen really is that like we tent out in the rain. Like, that's not the worst thing.
Okay. Yeah. I'll think about it.
Yeah. I'll give him like my contact info. Because I do plan on working with him at some point.
Uh-huh. Deb, for the record, assuming you did any investigation, just ask me when you want a basic dossier on this girl.
Oh, I mean, like in game or like whenever you can get it is fine. Like
Yeah.
there's no, but like
Yeah, you
in
know.
world, like Deb
Yeah.
got it yesterday.
Yeah, you know, like her name, you know what her parents' profession is.
Yeah.
You pretty much got like social security number of her parents.
Oh yeah.
You're covered. She seems fine, very normal.
Oh, like I'm well aware of that because they're still
Yeah.
talking to
Yep.
each other.
Yeah. Okay. How about Deb, is there any, or let's go to Amaros and Cam. Anything specific you two want? Cam, you got some investigative things you had sort of set down. Also, I think you failed the last roll of the last session for trying to find more, but
Yes, I think the last roll was actually about the thing that Harlow told us about, more
Yeah.
than the stairwell. But I think Cam's weeks are quiet. They are the same routine. He's sort of waiting for the shoe to drop of having to both actually call the office and then air quotes call the office. So
yeah.
he's
So
laying low, keeping to his routine, keeping quiet.
yeah, you have gotten word that let me see. No, we're okay. Amaros, do you have anything?
Yeah, I throw a fucking party.
You throw a rager?
Yeah, I throw a
Yeah.
party for all my friends and all my other friends. It's everyone dresses nice, right? We all get dressed up to let off a little steam and celebrate, take our minds off things. There's lavish food and drinks. There's entertainment, music and dance. It's a hell of a time.
Nice.
Cool.
Is this on like the following weekend, or do you throw it on a weeknight?
Yeah, I think the next weekend.
Yeah.
I hit a few dance moves. I tell you, yeah, they love this shit in Delphi.
Oh yes, now I remember. Sorry, Ted. My brain was shutting down trying to for some reason remember a thing that I did remember. You get word on one of your kind of weekly reports, for lack of a better word. In this case, most of the time any report you get is just nothing's going on, right? Or it's just a negative. It's like, yeah, we're good. Nothing's up, nothing to look at, nothing. In this particular one, you get a missive that essentially says that the FBC is auditing your agency.
Well, that's just fucking great.
Yeah. And the DFA is going to be gridlocked for a bit while they essentially just clam up, and you're fairly sure of what's probably going to happen, which is same thing that's happened every other time the FBC has tried this, which is a whole lot of nothing. Okay. Anything else anybody wants to do? Okay. Are you back, Sir Awkward?
Yes.
Okay. After we do that previously on, and I think the previously on is just a collection of stuff that wasn't on the last episode, right? It was a few snippets of that 2-week period. Awkward. You know, at this point, we generally start with a dream of yours.
Of course.
And it's that fucking dream again. Lottery win. It's fucking Missouri for some reason. Your twin brother just came running into your room with the winning ticket. You gave it to him as a Christmas gift. You know, the usual shit, right? Except you don't have a twin brother, right?
Mm.
And if you did, you doubt he'd. I mean, is it Christmas afternoon? Either way, it's weird that he's wearing your dad's old clothes. Another weird thing is you realize throughout, you don't know how long this dream has been. You're pretty sure it's a dream now, but you haven't actually been speaking at all either. He's standing there in the doorway. He's holding up the ticket, smiling at you fairly placidly. And the first traces of that familiar kind of shivering fear take hold along your spine. Your hand reflexively locks in pain for a moment. And now you are in the woods. You blink, you look around, scratch that. Actually, you're on a boat, maybe, but also in the woods. It's nighttime. The sky is very clear, and the moon looms incredibly large above you. That combined with the amount of lack of clouds, and the sky is fairly clear and also almost kind of claustrophobic with how much of the stars and how close the moon is. You blink and you're not in the boat, you're not in the woods anymore. Now you're standing on a stone slab, regally upon that stone slab, actually. And you feel a serene smile settle over your entire being. A haunting melody erupts unbidden from your lips as you begin to sing. And you sing to the trees, and you sing to the sky, and you sing to your congregation. You see before you a dozen people. They are shrouded in a shadow that is entirely at odds with the pale light, which should illuminate them from above. And you stand atop your throne, looking down upon them as they bow, they kneel, they raise their hands in supplication to you. And you feel very much like the maestro before the orchestra. As you hum and the hum gathers into a song, and the song gathers into a full chorus, you see the island. You realize you are standing on an island, and you see water beyond it, and you see men and women and children, all shrouded, all humming in tune to the melody that only you sing. Cloaked in the song and the shadow, they sing and they hum and they croon, and they advance in boat and on foot and swimming towards the island that you stand upon amidst this pond, this lake. And they sing this song of worship to you and you alone. This is a song you know well. It's a song of truth. It's a song of beauty, a melody of love and one of awe. And your eyes begin to unfocus as the weight of the song begins to press in on you. The song begins to feel alien. You realize you are not yourself. You do not feel right. This feels wrong. You do not understand what is happening. And your perspective shifts to find yourself amidst the throng of people gathered before the figure upon the throne. Your head is bowed, your hands are raised, and as you raise your eyes to look upon the figure on the stone throne, the slab, you are awake, in bed, eyes open, and your eyes are stinging and watering, and you realize that you have probably been gazing unblinkingly into the corner of your room for what must have been minutes. It is, you look at the clock, around 3 a.m. on Sunday morning. And
Can you
yeah,
repeat
you
the
are
last
awake.
sentence? Can you repeat the last sentence of the dream for me? Something about my head.
You had a shift in perception, and you were one of the people in the crowd.
Mm.
And as you lifted your head to look at the figure on the throne, that is when you woke up before
Okay.
you saw anything.
Got it.
But you could feel that you were one of the shadowed and kind of shrouded people out in the congregation. And yeah, your eyes hurt. You don't know how long, but you don't think you've been blinking for a bit. You look over towards the window, and the moon is luckily normal again. It's not a full moon. There are enough clouds that you don't have that bizarrely clear sky.
My, my cell phone. Is it a smartphone?
Yeah,
Or
it's a
is it flip
smartphone.
phone? Okay, cool. When is the next full moon?
Next full moon is in like 2 weeks.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at the time and being a little ashamed of my actions last vision, I'm gonna um I'm assuming I actually maybe I can roll for this. Can I roll a preparedness to see if I have Visine?
Preparedness, sure.
Hey. Dun, 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 dun. It's a sharp. Come on. Level up. Ah, damn. All right, cool.
Yeah, you realize you have a like fanny pack on the floor over in the corner that is one of your just like it's your second string pharmaceuticals. It's not the one you need most of the time, but it's everybody's got that secondary place you keep all of the medicine you don't use on a day-to-day basis. That like Tupperware or whatever you keep over in the corner. But yeah, you've
Cool.
got Visine.
I'll drop that shit in my eyes. How like riled up am I right now?
Not as bad as usual.
Okay.
I think the worst part of the dream might have been that creepy shit at the beginning, right?
Mm.
The rest of it was just weird. But
Um,
compared to the outright hostility of the last one, this one a much chiller vibe, even though, not great still.
yeah, I'll just go into the bathroom, like splash some water in my face, and then go back to the door, recheck the lock, and then when I'm satisfied, I will lay back in bed and attempt to fall asleep.
Uh-huh. Okay. As you close your eyes and you go to sleep, the camera sweeps out and sweeps towards the moon. And the audience sees the moon as we grow closer to it grow brighter and brighter until it looks as it did in Awkward's dream. Supernaturally large, filling far too large a portion of the visible sky. Our view shifts, gazing down upon a pond surrounded by trees. From this vantage point, the still surface provides a perfect mirror of the moon and the starlit sky that is behind us. We're still far away, but we begin to see a bit more detail as the camera zooms down. We see that in the middle of the pond is a small section of land, and upon this little bit of land sits a rock, flat and unnaturally smooth. The camera shifts again. Our back is now towards the rock as we gaze outward at the tree line. We could see boats moored on some makeshift docks dotting the trees. And beyond them, we can faintly see the beginning of flashlight beams as something advances with steady purpose. As the camera fades out and we go to the title card, we hear the faint ringing that often accompanies these intro scenes begin to resolve into the sound of a ethereal voice singing. And that is the beginning as we hit the title card for The Lady of the Lake. It is now Sunday morning when the camera resolves again. I think we'll go back to you, Awkward. You're now awake. Probably. What time does Awkward wake up on a regular Sunday morning?
Um, he's pretty passive in his life.
Mhm.
So it's when his body decides to get up. I want to say though today, it was at a like 8:30 time.
Yeah.
Just because like his sleep was interrupted, and so it just kind of it messed up his like long sleep cycle.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, you are up at 8:30. I think also driving you is that little bit that like, oh fuck feeling that has after you kind of settled from the dream, right? It's the secondary wave of oh shit, another fucking thing. As you're like almost that the second you call one of the others, that begins shit, right? Then it kicks off and you're just in this brief moment of peace where nothing is happening. Everything's about to get more complicated again for a while. You're just in that moment, right?
I was watching a show recently, and it was like there's the before and their after of like people who lose family members, and the doctors were like, "We're in the before, or we're in the after, but they're still in the before," kind of like
Uh-huh.
that.
Yep.
I have a question for Harlow. What is like your day job?
I am a shift lead at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll
Bob's
text the group
Beanhouse.
instead.
Yeah. What is your text to the group like?
I think it's just a very straightforward, like we should probably meet soon, and then a frowny face.
Uh-huh. Sure. The frowny face, the universal sign for something's up, gang.
At least from Awkward.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Dawson's character would send back a really happy face.
Yeah, just like an emoji of a cigarette that you're not sure where he got. Like it's not in the keyboard. You can't just get a cigarette.
Yeah, I think shortly after receiving that text, Awkward receives a Uber gift card for the amount of money it will take for me to go pick him up and
Yeah.
meet with everybody.
Yeah, you gotta log the hours.
Amaros appears next to you moments after
Yeah.
the text is sent.
Awesome.
Hey, you okay? What's up?
Awkward. Amros appears like
Oh,
fully
he teleports
casual.
to me.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
teleport. I
straight-
just appear near
Also,
you somewhere.
Amros appears with a foot like crouched on the edge, unlike a chair, right? Like full superhero pose, completely unbothered. Seems to somehow be preternaturally aware of where it is teleporting to.
I like to think that Awkward was sitting on the edge of his bed as he texts this because
Yeah.
he's super happy.
Yeah.
And when Amaros appears, he just yells, "Holy shit!" and like falls back onto the floor.
Amros appears sitting on the foot of, like at the foot of your bed, like a kindly dad. Like, hey,
Yeah,
champ,
I'm
how
already
you doing?
sitting on the bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Can you warn somebody? Like, I know I can see the future, but it's not that accurate.
Oh, I mean, I could, but I don't know. I guess I could text.
Maybe a text would be nice. Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
All right. Well, what if you were in danger?
In danger of a heart attack currently. I was almost killed last week. I was actively hunted 3 weeks ago.
Well, then it's a good thing I'm here.
I assure you, if I am in danger, I'm not sending a frowning face text. From now on, our secret code is if you get a frowny face text, I am actively safe.
Frowny face is safe.
Frowny face is safe. It's not good, but it's safe.
What's danger then?
Oh, I don't. Dreams. You have dreams, right? You're like a people.
Yes, I have dreams.
Okay, and so you know how like sometimes you can interpret those dreams, but it's not like a direct translation.
Sure.
Anyways, I think there's a cult coming, and they may be following my twin brother, who I don't have. So if you could decipher that, that'd be great.
Ooh. You know, might be good with that. Have you tried Harlow?
Doesn't Harlow work at a coffee shop?
Oh. Maybe we can meet and get some coffee.
Yeah, I think that's probably good. Deb's on her way.
Oh, excellent. I could use a ride.
God damn it.
You sure you just want to pop in and scare the shit out of Harlow too, or is that just for me?
Oh, well, they're at work, so.
Oh. Well, at least you're considerate.
I get up and start walking around. You got anything to eat?
Can I roll for that?
I mean, you've got stuff to eat.
Damn it.
Unfortunately, because it's awkward, it's like granola bars. Like
For sure.
you've got a little mini fridge that you bought that has like a bit of leftover pizza in it. You don't remember how old. You don't remember ordering it, but it's going kind of stiff, but it'll probably microwave.
As he like picks it up and just looks at it, I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm better at telling the future than I am the past."
I set it back and have some granola and wait for wait for Deb to scoop us.
Yeah. Before we get to Deb scooping you, Cam, what's your move? You get the text. You're in the middle of your morning routine.
I think Cam's been up for a little while. He will roll himself out from under the vehicle that he is working on. Wipe his hands on an oil rag, look at it, nod, throw a sheet over it, and then text back, "Where are we meeting?" Go to clean up.
Coffee? Question mark.
I text back a bean emoji and a house.
Deb, you would know that if you want to pick up Cam is the closest to awkward, right? Like they're both over here, so you could probably go snag Cam.
Cam's got his other car. It's fine.
True.
Cam's not at his house.
Yeah, I'll text Cam and just let him know that I'm on my way to pick up Awkward. And A, let me know if he wants a ride, and B, be on the lookout for an Amaros appearance out of thin air.
I love how everybody has to adjust their life around the possibility that Amros could just be there. Like,
I'll send back noted.
Okay. Do you all converge on the Bob's Bean House establishment? Yeah. Okay, Harlow. By the time they get there, probably about 9:15.
Okay.
Yeah, so like it's Sunday, so it's up to you actually whether you are open yet or whether Bob's Bean House like opens a little later.
I think we're definitely I think that I'm working, but I'm going to just take the 15-20 minutes that this is going to be anyway.
Yeah.
Do we get free coffee or do we pay for our coffee?
Well,
Harlow will brew coffee, but if you want something special and he will do something special, he will charge you.
it's like the one thing Bobby is if everybody was giving out free shit constantly,
Yeah.
this place
Hey,
would make less money than it already does.
I buy everyone's coffee with my club card.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Up, you're on your free one next week.
Yep.
Yes, almost there.
He pulls it out.
Yeah.
There's like one for Thornton, so he can.
Can
get
you believe it?
slushies. There,
Free coffee.
there's a
I've
punch
got-
card for like 7-Eleven drinks.
Right. I've got to imagine that Omeros has like 27 half-filled punch cards for this
Yep.
beanery. and every time he gets close, he's always genuinely excited, but just somewhere in between loses it or grabs a different one.
Yeah.
This time for sure. You know what it is. I figured it out. Gremlins.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you got from that.
When you convene, do you like sit down in the shop, or do you? Because there is a table. There's not really any tables that are quite big enough for the full group of you, but you could like pull up an extra chair and sort of squeeze, right?
Yeah, I just scooch a
Can-
table. It's
I was gonna
loud.
Let's go for it.
Yeah. I'm on my 15.
Yeah. I don't even take off my apron or anything. I just sit down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So,
frowny face.
Oh, right. Sorry, the coffee was so good. So I had a dream. Um, there was a twin, my twin specifically. I should probably point out I don't have a twin. Anyways, it was Christmas. I don't know if that's actually important. We can skip to the part where there's an island and I'm on it and I'm being worshipped, but then I'm not being worshipped. I think there might have been an idol, so we're probably facing a cult that's run by a non-existent person. Thoughts?
like a current real operating group of people connected to an idol?
Yeah, probably. The good thing is I think we have plenty of time. It's not until like the next full moon. I checked, it's like super far away.
you saw a moon in the sky.
Yeah, a full moon. Well, I mean, don't we almost always see moons in the sky?
Well, yes, but the environment is important. Where you are.
Oh, on an island.
Mm.
Or at my place at Christmas with my twin in my dad's clothes.
On the island, can you see farther? Beyond the island, the horizon, shapes, mountains, cities.
No, just water.
Hmm.
There were people in the water. I don't know if that's important. They were coming towards me to worship me.
How many?
Many.
Like a sea of people.
I mean, the ocean wasn't completely inhabited by them, but it was definitely more than I just determined to count. It was worth counting.
Well, there's been
So-
various moon worship over the years.
Helpful.
Moon is powerful. Brings energy.
It's sort of at least the place that a lot of the magic that I channel that is the most, I'd say, mystical. Every weird, most exceptional bit of magic that I've ever done has been of the moon. If the moon is relevant specifically to what you're talking about to an event, my experience is that the full moon makes magic of that kind particularly strong. So it might be the case that it is moon rituals for the moon or just being done under the moon because that makes things more powerful. What do you remember anything of what the thing that was being worshipped was?
Well, at first it was me, and I was singing. Do you think the singing's important?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know what it was. um, um, but I was singing to I was singing to the people, and they were humming it back. Don't know why they weren't singing it too. I don't know, something about it was a beautiful song, and I think there was some truth to it.
Sorry, did you say you what were you singing about?
The truth?
Which was what?
Oh, I have no. I'm sure there were words, but like that's not how visions work all the time.
What were
It's
you
kind of like
wearing?
reading in a dream.
You remember what you
What was
were
I wearing?
wearing?
Do I know what I was wearing? Did I ever look down?
Give me a sharp roll. Let's see what
Okay.
you can remember.
Nope. Oh, yeah, some.
I think you get the sense that like you didn't look down, but relative to where like you try to like close your eyes and remember, and you felt a fair bit taller than you actually are. Like your vantage was either you were standing on something, which you know you were, but even still you felt very up high when you were, because you were looking down on people and you are not particularly tall.
I don't remember what I was wearing, but I remember everyone else was cloaked. Kind of why I get the
Maybe.
culty vibes.
Okay.
Yeah, welcome to my life.
Was their
Yeah.
cloak a certain color? Were there any symbols? Anything identifiable?
Dark. Does
Dark.
dark help?
Sure.
Uh,
Dark cloaks.
yeah, everybody likes a dark cloak though.
Easy to pull off, I think.
I look at your clothes. This other part of the vision though, your twin, like your twin, like he looked like you.
Mirror. Maybe he was evil me. Maybe he's me from a different multiverse where I am evil.
Did he have a mustache?
No, but he did have a winning lottery ticket from Missouri.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sound evil.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you guys are going to Missouri. You let me know when you get back. I will be right here.
Well, what will we do? Like, tell them that, sorry, your good twin back in Michigan told us to find you?
I don't know, but if we all go on a plane together, it's not going to end well.
I mean, I could fly all of you there, I suppose.
Well,
Have you been to Missouri?
like most of us.
You've been to Missouri.
No. Yes.
I mean, in the
Wait,
sense
I'm
that
remembering
like
now.
you've walked through it, right? So it's like,
Proverbially, haven't we all been to Missouri?
yeah, conceptually, Amaros, you're trying to cast your brain back to Missouri, and you're coming up with a lot of gas stations, which implies to you must have walked through or hitchhiked. So you could
Yeah, it's
maybe
like
take him
a-
to a gas station in Missouri.
Yeah, I think I've been to Missouri.
It might also be Arkansas. It feels like it's one of those. It's hard to distinguish.
Oh, I'm just remembering something. The ticket. It was a winning one. So if you can get that from him, he meant to give it to me. In my vision, I knew that for sure. So get the winning ticket, bring it back here.
He's your opposite.
Oh,
Right?
that's a good point. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He was in my dad's clothes. Would my dad be the opposite?
Well, do you have a losing ticket?
Not currently. But my luck tends to run out sometimes. Hence me being here.
Well, Missouri's a fairly large place, and how would we find this you?
I don't know. There's probably an island in there somewhere, right? Or rather, there's not too many islands in Missouri, right?
How many islands are in Missouri?
There's not. I mean, there's like there's probably some in the Ozarks, I guess.
There's like maybe some. It's a big place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cody, regale
Yeah.
us with your geographical
Uh-huh.
knowledge of Missouri.
I've driven through one side of Missouri a lot, and I didn't see a lot. I saw a place called Herculaneum McNutt. That's all I remember about Missouri.
Excuse me?
Yeah, Herculaneum McNutt. It's the name of a town. You can have that for free. Awkward. I am going to offer you the opportunity to roll weird.
Oh,
You may do so, or you may not. If you
No,
do
I'm
so, okay, there will be
also have an-
consequences for failure.
I also
Hooray!
have an idea.
Oh fuck, that was close.
Okay. Awkward. As you are like, kind of like straining your mind to remember details. Your brain is kind of cast back to the beginning of that dream, right? Which was a weird version of your other recurring dreams, right? The always winning some fucking lottery ticket for some state you don't know that you've ever played the lottery in, culminating usually in weird shit, right? The thing that as you are trying to like remember this vision, right? The you that you were looking at, your twin, in your recollections, does something it did not do in the vision. Which is the smile turns into a frown. It shakes its head. And what I would like you to do, Awkward, outside of your head, is take your phone
Oh, no.
and throw it as hard as you can at the front door of the shop.
Fine.
Okay, you do it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
Awkward lobs the fucking phone as hard as he can at the door. The door doesn't like crack or anything. It does make an incredibly loud noise, and the phone is fucked.
God damn it.
Market experience.
Hooray.
Harlow just stares at the dent. Okay. Can't do that. You know that, right?
Look, I have a weird relationship with phones. I think this is well established.
You're
You got
getting a
50
lot
bucks
of
that I could use to
looks.
get that fixed.
Like there aren't a lot of patrons in here currently. People are starting to fill in. The other employees, Harlow, are all just staring at Awkward and looking at you like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm asking for 50 bucks so I don't look like a fucking pushover.
So you try to save face.
I can't let these kids know that I'm just a pushover.
I'd love to, but I can't Venmo
So
you
yeah,
right now.
Awkward, you had a little bit of an extra to it, right?
hmm
Bit of a,
I take
bit
care
of a
of
shake head, bit of punishment.
I take care of whatever is damaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think we're going to Missouri. I don't think you guys are going to Missouri.
You think you're
Well,
going?
plus you said they're coming here, right?
Hmm. It's not like I got like this eagle-eye view of like a cult making their way in. It was more like they were coming to me wherever I was at. So there's a chance that whatever it is here and they are going to find it versus there's some outside force converging on us. Does that make sense?
Why do you feel like they're your duplicate? Like they are you and not something pretending to be you?
Well, you make a good point because before I would have said that entities don't show up in my vision, and then Rusty happened. So the likelihood of it being something invading my vision has increased exponentially.
But you feel it's you.
Only in that it looked like me and I didn't feel a presence. Like a malevolent presence.
I'd like to try something, but I don't know if it'll work or be dangerous or nothing.
You don't know if it's safe.
I don't.
Have we met?
But I wanted to put the idea forward before doing anything.
Does this involve me potentially experiencing pain?
I don't think so. If you think it's
That's not a
you,
no.
you know how this morning I appeared next to you.
Sure.
Well, if there is another you, maybe I can appear next to them.
Oh yeah, sounds like I'll be fine.
Okay. I try to teleport myself to
Do you like walk out the front door?
yeah.
Yeah, you appear back in the seat you were just in. So from everybody else's perspective, you walk out the front door, and as you exit, blip, you're back in the seat.
I look around.
Well, that's good to know.
I look around the coffee shop and just yell, "Oh, you're not gonna look at him?"
You see a couple of furrowed brows. Like either they didn't see or you're still the object of the crazy person that at the start of the fucking day threw the phone at the door.
I'm very on the canon of nobody actually saw it and they just heard me scream at them and now they think I'm even crazier than I was before.
Who's looking at us? Right? Is the whole place looking at us because Amaros just materialized?
But not Amaros. They're still
Yeah.
a bit bothered by awkward shouting and throwing a phone at the door.
Okay.
Yeah, seemingly
phone-
seemingly I did not create
Yeah.
quite a stir.
Okay.
And the phone
Whomever-
is just sitting on the ground, like it's still there.
Okay.
I'm mad at it.
Deb is going to get up, scoop up the phone, and then sit down with whoever is staring or gawking the most and not say a word.
Yeah, there's an older guy who's like sitting across from you, basically on the opposite side, who just looks down at his coffee a little bit more intently.
Yeah, he's just drinking a coffee?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just sit with him for a little bit.
Yeah,
Silently.
he is deeply disturbed by whatever this vibe is. Like you're just holding a shattered phone that he just like it's unfortunate he probably could have mustered a response had the situation not been so bizarre. So outlandish. He's just sitting looking at his coffee. He's in a chair, right? So the chair is like slowly scooting away from the table as he's sort of holding his coffee.
Yeah, I just have a pleasant little like half smile on my face. No, nothing. I mean, no one who witnessed anything, anyone who just walked in wouldn't clock anything as threatening or weird about it, right? But yeah, that's weird. I'm just gonna sit there. Is he finishing his coffee? Is he getting up to go? What's my man doing?
Yeah. So, okay. First things first. Conversation back at the table, as Deb is left and is sitting over to your left, just mugging this guy. Not mugging, literally not mugging, but mean, and not even mean mugging, just placidly staring at this gentleman.
I feel like if there was another you, and it was you, then I'd be able to find them. But I couldn't. I don't think there's another you.
I think that logic
My
checks out.
theory.
Although the question is your ability to do this connected to a name or a face like you recognize? Do you have to know the person? Like, how does this work?
It's connected to you.
Well, then see, if I had a twin, Although they may have similar DNA, they're still a different person. So would that work?
That is a good question. I don't think I've ever tried on twins.
Mm.
Okay. A possible twin, or it is you, just not you yet.
A future me. Interesting. So you're saying I'm gonna win a Missouri lottery, and he goes to like grab his phone in his pocket and then just like throws his hand.
Mm-hmm. I think the camera sweeps over to Deb. As you're sitting there, he slowly gets to his feet, holding the coffee, gives you like a nod,
Yeah, I'll nod back.
the sort of perturbed set to his brow.
Mhm.
Shuffles his way out.
Great. I'll move on to the next people who are talking and just sit at their desk.
Yeah, there's like 2 teenagers.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the table.
So I guess I could look into meetups that are happening at the next full moon. That might be the one lead we have.
Yeah, in the song, if there's like a meetup with like singing involved, not like a festival or anything like that. Like,
There's usually singing.
yeah, no, like if there's electronics, that's not it. But like there's an associated song.
But do you remember the song?
If I were to try and hum it, would I remember it well enough?
Give me another weird roll.
Okay. Holy
Oh.
shit.
Yo. Yo.
Yeah, you hum the song, but as you hum it, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't feel like it's full of power. You're getting it exactly right, and because it's through weird, you understand that it's supposed to be imbued with power. Right? But
Yeah.
you're not doing it right. You don't know if it's because you can't,
You're right.
but it's not right.
So like that, but more hypnotic. Like something magical. Something that reaches into your soul, you know?
I'm familiar. I'm familiar. I'll hop onto my phone and start looking into like, frankly, like, occult meetups in the area.
You call up Shazam and ask him to hum it again.
Oh, as he's walking away too, I'll just like lift up my finger and be like, "Oh, and if it's an island, extra points."
I
Okay,
think
so
I'll
you
throw in the word island into my Boolean search.
got it. So your first search is for ritual full moon island, basically.
Kind of. I think that especially because he is of the craft, like his assumption is he's going to find probably groups of women who are going to be meeting up during the full moon for whatever their purposes may be. And so he's trying to sift past that and look for something beyond the pale a little.
Yeah, without an investigative mystery, and not necessary for this particular thing, you don't catch anything that flags for Beeman Bay. As you said, there's a lot of noise, right? There's a
Yeah.
lot of the signal to noise ratio is real bad on that one because there is a lot of just people talking about their meetups, right?
Yeah.
Nothing for here, or at least nothing abnormal, right? At least not where it pertains your search query. Anyone else? Deb is still doing the heavy routine.
Cam's here, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Cam, do you know of any cults of Selene? The moon goddess.
Selene?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever dealt with a cult of that particular moon goddess. I mean, I've dealt with all kind of skinwalkers. People will worship the moon, thinking it turns them into other stuff. Uh, I dealt with a cult worshiping a fire serpent. I don't think I ever dealt with that. A name don't sound familiar.
Incredible. A few thousand years. All it takes?
Sorry, was they a friend of yours?
No. She's a friend of my maker's.
So like your auntie.
I've never met. I'm not sure it works like that. I don't actually know how it works. But the moon plays a role somehow. We have 2 weeks to figure it out. So, do we go to Missouri? Do we see what we can dig up here?
I don't know if Missouri's the right call.
Well, you'll never win the lottery like that.
I will when I get a new phone.
I don't know what getting a new phone has to do with winning the lottery.
Century are you living in? Have you heard of the internet?
Yes.
I have connections within the financial districts. I can get a Missouri lottery ticket.
Got it. Okay. I was thinking something more complex. Never mind.
Harlow, give me an investigate a mystery roll
Mhm.
as you're just browsing through your phone, right?
Yeah. Let me double check if there's anything. Nope, not that. All right.
Okay. The questions I'll answer to the best of my ability to give you the information, but ask away.
Okay. So there is forensic divination, which I don't think. I mean, it's up to you if that applies here, but
I think
in
not yet.
reference to the vision, if that was anything.
Yeah, so the
yeah.
forensic divination best you could do is like I tell you for free that what if he's describing a song that ensorcels people, right? Like that's fairly standard charm stuff.
Okay.
Although the ability to do it on the scale that he's talking about is like that's more storybook shit, right? That's that's like myth stuff. Because you could probably work out how to charm someone, maybe even charm someone with a song. But doing it on a lot of people is hard. So you would know that for free, right? Intention wise. If that
Okay.
is what Awkward is describing, right? A song that has power that's drawing people in.
Yeah, potentially a charm, like a fucking
Siren
shit.
song.
I mean, it's siren shit, right? It's
Yeah,
siren
yeah.
song shit.
Yeah. And what sort of creature is it? I think is going to be my first question.
I mean, if it's singing that song, I guess it could be. You don't really think that Awkward has the ability to do that. At least not anything that you've seen. It doesn't feel like Awkward's powers lie in that, right? Yeah, Pied Piper is another one. But like the kind of things that could do that, I mean, classically fey shit, right? A lot of charm and drawing things into a forest or into a place is in the realm of fey stuff. There's also like, literal sirens, and a number of other like just scattered mythologies that are like, yeah, things that sing and draw people in, or things that make a noise that draws people, right? That's a fairly common across a lot of mythology. So it's hard to nail down specifically what it would be. But there's lots of things that could potentially do that. Though the cult aspect is a little weird.
Yeah.
Because most of them a lot of them are like people go missing and they're not kept, right?
I think to that end, what is being concealed here?
Yeah. You are reaching the end of your ability to get anything, right?
Hmm.
And you switch to the like Wilmarth subreddit, right? Just because a lot of people will talk about things that are happening there. There's been a couple times where you've pinged like weird shit happening, right? And gotten keyed into stuff that was happening because somebody referenced some weird phenomenon there and you happened to see it and just walked over from you live nearby, right? And you work nearby. So
Hmm.
you're always kind of in the neighborhood to go look around stuff over there. But you get a through like the grapevine of all of the subreddit stuff. There is a guy who went missing last night. Most you have is that his name is Dominic, because somebody asked if anybody has seen him. And then a few people responded saying no. Somebody said, should we call the police? Like, it's in that stage, right?
Okay.
So you don't know if that's just that he hasn't come home. It's a Sunday morning, so he could be just, he got drunk somewhere. But whoever posted that post seems concerned.
Okay. I'll turn my phone out and show everybody a couple of things. I'll show them the name Dominic and say that like ruling out a few things, it's probably still a fairy kind of some type, specifically something that is interested in enchantment and enthralling, but in mass number that's either very powerful or just somewhat unusual or new.
Hmm. Well, that doesn't sound like gremlins.
No. Something I think more. I don't want to say the word necessarily intelligent, but something more tyrannical.
Harlow, did you mention the kid?
Yeah, yeah. The
Mention him
name
by
Dominic.
right. When you say name Dominic, everybody else at the table hears you open your mouth and hears a just garbled noise, as if Harlow opened his mouth and said blah blah blah.
Sorry, say that name again.
I mean, that's not a hard name to pronounce, and I'll turn my phone out so you can read it. And I'll just say it again.
Yeah, you are reading it. There's no name given. It's somebody talking about their roommate is missing.
Gesundheit.
I'm sorry, their name is Roommate?
That is easy to say, roommate.
Then why didn't he say it?
Can I still remember the name?
Yeah, you
He's
can
like
read it.
trying to remember it right now.
You look right at it. You can remember it. You could say
Okay.
it.
Okay.
You can read it.
You guys can't hear. I'll say Dominic again.
Yeah, just blah, blah, blah.
I think we all
Okay,
probably like
okay,
look
okay.
at each other.
Yeah.
Deb, at this point, you're coming back to the table. As this has been happening in the background, Deb is moving from table to table as people are just. There's a turnover, right? Of all the people who were there are now gone, and Deb is finishing up with the last of them as she has uncomfortably made them leave. There is new clientele coming in, but Deb, you've worked your way around the room, starting on the opposite side and just moving from table to table,
Yeah,
having
that
cleared the
checks
other
out.
4 patron sets that were here.
Right, as I
As you're coming back to the
roll back to the
table.
table. Well, what do we figured out?
Well, we learned Harlow can't say the word roommate. Sorry,
Harlow, should
the
we go to
name
the
roommate.
ER? I think there might be something wrong with you.
Well, I know there's something wrong with me, but now I know there's something wrong with y'all. He squints again at the phone. Okay, so I can read it, and I trust my sight. And you guys can't see it?
Harlow,
It's
wait, don't you wear glasses? And I'm just saying, trust in your sight.
I'll open my eyeball so that you can see the weird magic happening in my pupil.
Yeah, the weird reflective glare.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that does not make me any more confident, though. If anything, that makes me less confident.
also, if anyone's relying on anybody's sight, I think I'm the winner here.
Except you're seeing it wrong.
Deb,
Well,
read
let
this.
me try something. Harlow, will you point to the word on that screen for me?
I do.
I
Yeah.
take a
nothing
picture
there.
of the phone and the word that she's pointing to,
Uh-huh.
Cool.
and I'd show her the picture that I've taken.
He, by the way.
Oh yeah, sorry. Show him the picture that I've taken.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nothing. It's blank. Like
blank?
it looks. I should say it's not. It's blank. It looks exactly how the rest of you see it, not how Harlow sees it, right? Which is no
What
name.
What if I screenshot my phone?
You could. Do you do that?
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harlow, you screenshot your phone. You hold it up. It looks the same to everybody else. It looks
So
like you've just taken a picture and screenshotted the same thing, right?
So no matter what, we all see roommate and they see Dominic.
Yes.
I would like to try something weird.
Uh-huh.
So with sensitive, if I
Yeah.
get a 10 or more, I could potentially hear an overheard thought. Can I try
Sure.
that?
Yeah.
All right, let's hope it goes good. Oh, yes!
Oh my god.
Okay, so read it exactly to me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, never mind. On a 10 or more, you gain a definite impression, a vision, tangible aura, overheard thought, etc. about something important.
Yeah, so you're trying specifically to overhear a thought from Harlow, right?
hmm
Specifically the name.
Yeah. Can I say, read that name for me one more time and then click on the sensitive? That way he's thinking about it actively at the time.
Oh, okay. I mean, like in his brain, he's like screaming, like, "Why can't they hear Dominic?"
Right, like your
It's not a
10,000
complicated
thoughts
name.
of yeah.
This is pretty strange, awkward. You hear in in his head Harlow screaming, "Why can't they hear nameless? Why can't they understand nameless? Why can't they I'm trying to say nameless. It's nameless."
Okay, so I actually hear the word nameless. Right?
Yeah, that's what
Okay,
you're getting. Yeah, not a name, nameless. Like nameless like I'm saying it, right?
Yeah. Okay. I'm not saying he's not having a stroke, but there is an inconsistency here. He's saying roommate, but he's thinking nameless. That doesn't add up.
I think that just means that this guy's name got stolen, and apparently I'm the only person who remembers it.
Well, how do you know we all don't think a different thing as well?
Okay, what do you think?
Roommate.
Well, wouldn't we just
That's not what it was.
wouldn't we just hear or see what we're hearing or seeing?
Sorry, what did you say?
Never mind. Strike it from the record.
Harlow, will you do me a favor?
Huh?
Take out that order pad. Write down
Huh?
the name that you're trying to say.
Mm-hmm. I will.
Harlow, you can't.
Can I still remember the?
Yep, you can
Okay.
remember it. You try to write it, your hand will not move. You try to unfocus and like see if you can ghost write it, your hand will not move.
He's trying really hard not to smile
Yeah.
because that's very discrediting to his entire position right now. But he's
Yeah.
thrilled.
Yeah, like you're trying so hard, right? It's that weird thing. You're like, maybe if I don't look at it, right? Maybe if I don't think about it, if I just like don't look at it, then I'll be
Start
able.
thinking
And then
about
you,
pink
yeah.
elephants and try to
And
scribble.
the
but that
the
does
s- yeah, the
nothing.
second you try to resolve the D and the O, it just shuts down. Your hand can't even like it just
Can I-
freezes.
Can Omeros try to soothe them?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I speak softly to you, reassuring you
Yeah.
that everything's okay. But
you
it's
do
like
feel
kind of like
reassured.
it's like real quiet, right? Like as I speak, everything like kind of calms and slows, and it's just you and me, and everything's cool.
Yeah, you're living in that now. It's a good vibe, Harlow.
Okay. That's nice. But we're still dealing with something super crazy, which is that somebody's name got taken in real time, and I just happened to see it, and none of you guys lost it. That's crazy.
Strange. So you can write it still, though.
No, I think the name is gone.
Well, it's not gone. You know it.
I think if this person is still alive, he needs help.
Well, we have a name, and that's a start.
I'll
Huh.
try to message.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll hop into the forum to see like when this person may have last been seen.
Yeah, you
Or
ask the
where.
question and there's no like immediate response.
Hmm.
Here's the question: why do you remember it and not us?
I mean, it might be part of my gift.
Harlow, you refresh, just refreshing over and over, like waiting for a response, and it was deleted. And you refresh again, and it doesn't even say deleted anymore. Like when you
Ugh.
delete a Reddit post, right? That you could see it got deleted usually, right?
Mhm.
Unless the person themselves deleted it, then it can disappear. But it looks like it got deleted, and then it's just there's no deleted brackets deleted anymore. It's just gone.
404 page.
Yeah. There's nothing to see. You just see this, like, first you see the person who posted it, and then you refresh and you're back to the Wilmarth campus subreddit.
I'll turn my phone out to everybody. The whole thread's gone.
Hey, so we're clearly dealing with something that takes people over, right? So I'm thinking, if it works for this thing now, maybe I can reach out to it. I don't know if it'll work because it's not like a henchman, but if there's a
you
connection with
sure?
the monster, then there might be a connection with that thing.
Are you sure you want to do that again?
Well, I don't want to reach out to the monster, that's for sure. But someone working for it? That seems a little less dangerous. He doesn't even have a name.
That's
I mean, it's as
Pish
good as
Azan.
idea as any.
All right, I'm gonna try and tune in to a minion.
Just
I don't know if
be
it'll work,
careful.
So your heading is you're trying to tune in to a nameless minion. You know
Yeah.
there is a minion. You know there's a shape of this person in the world somewhere, right?
Well, when you say it
And
like that, Cody, it makes it sound stupid.
I will let you. I do want you to try. I'm going to ding you with a -2 here
Okay.
because you're trying to zero in on something you don't have a frame of reference for.
Cool.
It's not that it's not doable. It's just harder.
I-
Oh my god.
Hey!
Jesus Christ! Hold on. I got to make sure because when you do the -2, it sometimes doesn't do it right. No, it
Yeah.
did. Fuck, you rolled a 12. God damn it. God damn
You've created a monster.
Fuck.
I
Great.
believe it was him who told me to dig it.
Yeah. Okay. What are your questions?
Where's the creature right now?
So you're tuning into a minion, right?
A minion, yes, specifically a minion.
Yeah. You see somebody is sitting at a camp. Really, you see through their eyes and you're looking down at a campfire. And in front of the campfire you can see an RV. Forest is kind of in the background.
Okay, cool. So I do see a forest. What is it planning to do right now?
Yeah, you try to reach for its intention. Wait.
Oh,
In
it's
fact,
planning to wait.
Yeah, and in fact,
Okay.
it's creepy, right? Because normally things have a more nuanced. I give you a more nuanced answer than that, right? Even if the answer is
Sure.
like, "Go kill some stuff," I want to kill some stuff, or
Yeah.
shit like that, right? This is just one word. Wait.
Cool. I am going to hold the last one.
Okay.
Yeah, I just kind of zonk out for a second and then I just look around. Okay, I have good news. Nameless is alive. And it sounds like we may be going back to the forest. And I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
Awesome.
Wait,
That's all I got.
back to the forest that we just came from?
Yeah,
Well, I
that
mean,
one.
not just came from, but we were just. Oh, okay.
Wait, we got rid of the stairs though.
Sure
There's
did.
a lot of stuff in this. There's a lot of stuff in the forest.
Well, that's precisely it. Where? It's the Missouri problem all over again.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I was a GPS, but it just doesn't work. I've narrowed it down to the woods, guys. That's all I got.
We can work some divination and such once we're there, or even beforehand in preparation. It'll just take some time and supplies.
You were elevated on an island. Everyone was swimming to you. Hey, what's the elevation like on any of these islands in Lake Michigan here? Like in Demon
Well,
Bay?
not super high up. And as for like the forest, there's not really any water up there until you get to, the coast on the other side.
These islands in Lake Michigan, do they have
Yeah.
trees?
Yeah, so weirdly, the problem actually with some of the islands you're trying to think of in Lake Michigan, right, is that the ones that do go up high enough tend to have a lot of trees on them, right? A lot of tall trees and are heavily forested. Awkward, from your vision, you were standing on an island in the middle of something and could see trees beyond the water.
Oh, there was. Oh, okay. Hold on. Sorry, the premonition at the beginning of the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there were trees beyond the water,
Yeah,
and I
so
was in
it
an
was like,
island without trees.
yeah, you're on an island without trees, and there are trees, or at least you're pretty sure it was without trees. You could see unobstructed to the water, right? There's
But
nothing in your way.
the person, the little camper guy, was surrounded by trees.
Right.
Okay.
Which looks like the big high bore forest trees.
Where we just were.
Yeah,
2 weeks
that's
ago?
the
Okay.
forest to the north of Beeman Bay.
Okay, cool.
Anybody got any moves they want to throw? Also, Ted, if you're talking as Cam, you're muted.
No,
just
I
realized.
just
Okay.
muted because I was talking a
Yeah.
second ago.
Is
Okay.
there any
Uh-huh.
chance of tracking down the user who lost or was asking about Dominic, like trying to find who they are and DMing them?
Yeah, you can DM them.
Okay. Because I want to try to get on Fellow Believer with them, if I can,
Uh-huh.
if I can get on their good side.
How long do you wait for a response?
I'll just indefinitely. I'll just send them a message and wait the day.
Okay. What as a group are you guys doing? What's your heading?
Not Missouri, I guess.
Yeah.
Where is the nearest phone store?
Phone store. Well, technically Deb's car. Deb's van. If we're being exactly correct. The
Deb
second
sells
answer
phones out of
is
her van.
it doesn't sell them, just has them.
Okay.
The other option is down the street at a Verizon.
Hashtag not an ad.
Because he's too
Sorry.
close to YouTube.
Next time is down the street at Friendly Wire. We gotta scrub the name. We go there and it's clearly a Verizon. We've just CGI scrubbed Verizon out and put Friendly. To keep it ad safe, it's like whenever you guys get the syrup for your pancakes and shit, we gotta put like Butterswill on the side of it.
I like the idea.
Butterswill.
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 I like the idea of a phone store with like a CGI image of whatever you just said, but the inside
Yeah.
you can clearly tell it's a Verizon.
It's clearly a Verizon, right? It's a Verizon. It's just somebody had to go in, like we had to get an in to go in and like CGI out
Yeah.
badly all of the fucking mentions of Verizon. Like everywhere in the store it says Verizon or there's the V. They have to change it to an F.
And then when the people are walking around with their shirts, it's just bad CGI that doesn't follow them right.
Uh-huh. Harlow, you get back relatively quickly. Who is this?
I'll message back. I'll just lie and say his cousin thought you knew something. That's all.
Yeah, no, I don't know anybody by that name. You get back via text.
Woohoo.
Uh-huh. All right, gang. What's your next move? You got a little crumb of information, hard to go off of currently. You got a loose idea of maybe what is beginning to happen. Anybody got any moves or ways they want to try to like throw moves at it?
I have an idea, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the nearest drone store?
Drone store?
Yeah. Can I buy a drone with a
Oh,
little camera?
sorry. You fucked me up for a second. I thought you said throne as in THRONE.
Oh,
I'm like,
no,
Doug,
no.
what world do you live in where you can go to your local whatever world you live in, I want to live in that world. Because the idea that I can go to
Two
my local throne,
thrones.
I would like to go to my
Two
what form of
thrones,
throne would you
please.
like? A classic stone?
perhaps an Irish marble.
They're very
Matching.
prevalent here in Frederick. Somebody mute Sean real quick.
Oh fuck. Okay, you're looking for drones. I
Drones.
mean, yeah, you could buy like a hobby drone from like a Best Buy. Sorry, a Best Boy.
Nope.
Nope, that's not it.
That is so much worse. I
like
had
to
to
think that I-
unmute just to say that.
Sorry.
I like
Sorry,
that I walked.
It's not a Best Boy, it's a Best Bot.
I like to think that I walked into the Best Boy and immediately walked alone.
Wrong store. You can buy a drone, not for that. Okay. Yeah, you go to the local electronics appliance store that also sells DVDs and speakers. Yeah, I mean, there's
Whatever.
not like
Amazon has same day shipping.
you could try to get Amazon same day shipping, get like, a $500 drone.
Sorry, Glamazon has 1 day shipping.
God damn it. Glamazon. It's fucking it's getting out of control. I'm gonna have to abort we're gonna have to just let this.
It's going into history and notes.
Yeah, honestly, at this point we're gonna have to just eat we're gonna have to eat the we're just gonna have to deal with it. Free advertising. We weren't gonna get Amazon anyway. We don't have to hold out for them. They're gonna fucking advertise on this show. Okay, so how are you getting your drone, Awkward?
Yeah, going to the Best Bot and acquiring the drone. I haven't done it yet. I guess I'm putting it to the group of like, hey, a great way to cover a lot of ground might be from an aerial view, such as with the drone. That could save us some time instead of us driving through the forest randomly, like we did last time.
That sounds amazing. Do we all get a chance to use it?
I mean,
You can teleport.
I did buy it, I guess.
Yeah, Awkward is holding a box that is like comically large for Awkward. Like it's like the two hand where it's a little bit too big for Awkward to like get the full arm around.
So, to the forest, or does anyone want to stop somewhere nearby for something else? Any ideas?
Well, do
It'd
we
be
want
funny,
to
isn't it?
schedule this for later when Harlow's off work? Don't worry, I think you still have 2 minutes on your break.
Do you bail, Harlow?
I probably will, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, like
I
the
say I'm gonna go
employee,
get something to repair the door, and then I leave.
yeah, nobody believes that. They just saw you sitting and talking with the friends that you talk to when you disappear sometimes.
Yeah, and what
One of them-
what are they gonna do about it?
Yeah, that's the thing. They can't, but they know.
What are you gonna do? Fire me?
Like once a week at this point, one of these fuckers comes in here, says some stuff to you, everybody gets agitated, and then you leave. Like that's the pattern at this point.
Hey,
Like, they
it's
don't
been
know
2
what's going.
weeks. It's been 2 weeks since we did it last time.
It's just fortunately very memorable.
Yeah.
It's not that
Yeah,
much of
it's
a
like
flake.
it's fairly memorable in terms of this squad. Every one of them is fairly individually unique.
Look, it's our Sunday thing, all right? We can only do it every now and then.
They're fucking terrorizing.
Yeah,
me at
you're all
work.
Sunday friends.
Yeah, one kid gives me a fucking side eye, and I tell him that I did catch him taking a muffin last week. So
Yeah. Can we
Get
just
off your
smash
fucking
cut
high
to
horse.
like the next daytime or later daytime,
Yeah.
and we have the drone,
Yeah,
and we're
smash cut to you're standing in the camping place, right? It's a little bit outside. It's not fully in the forest. It's what we described as like
the first stop, the camping stop. Sorry, not Harlow. Awkward. You have no idea how to drive a fucking drone. There's an instruction pamphlet, but like, it's not actually that easy to just do it. Like, you try to do it, and it immediately just careens to the side and falls to the ground.
All right, well, we tried.
Cam, you know how to drive a drone.
I will do my best rather than just taking it over. I will do my best to teach Awkward.
Yeah,
That's so nice.
yeah. Now, Awkward, I remember vaguely that you might have had a crush on Cam.
Yes.
How is that going over as Cam is trying to teach you to drive a drone and you're not doing a very good job?
um,
Yeah, how's the vibe?
okay, so Cam is holding the drone, showing me, and then
Mhm.
I
I'm holding the
duck
controller.
underneath his
Yeah,
arms.
holding the controller.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, there's your first prop. You don't actually hold the drone to use it. You want to hold this thing over here. It looks sort of like a PlayStation controller.
I like to think that I duck underneath his arms to kind of like, when a guy shows somebody how to play pool.
Oh, god damn it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And just force poor Cam into that situation.
Yeah, so everybody
to my name.
everybody also is just standing around and watches Awkward execute the most awkward goddamn maneuver. And if anyone has ever seen, including Amaros, who's been alive for thousands of years,
Classic.
crushing it Awkward. Yeah, I mean, after a fashion, Cam can fly this drone.
I will leave him to it.
I mean, it's around you.
So we're gonna take this thing to the woods and look around. I mean, we know there's a person. Harlow, can you find out anything, or can you remember anything else about him? Like, where'd they go missing from? What was they doing? I mean, that'll give us more to go off of than just a name that only one of us knows.
Harlow, the text just said their roommate's been missing since last night. They left and didn't come back.
I'll repeat that and say might be able to do some divination to try to find something, but it's going to take some time thinking about it.
The good news is you're not looking for a person. You're looking for an RV. Easier to
Well,
spot.
I mean, why don't we check? Can you find out where the person who reported them missing is, and then we just go to them? I mean, they don't know, but like presumably there's still stuff. Like the person's life still happened.
Yeah,
It's just that no one remembers their name, right?
they don't remember that person exists at all. And seemed like, well, I mean, here, I'll show the DMs. Like, they're totally psyched out. They don't know who I am or what I'm doing. I'm a creep on the internet as far as they're concerned.
Well, I mean, I could.
You want it? I'll hand you my phone.
Well, I could like try to. I would need some real justification for trying to get their IP or something like that.
Is a missing
Use that to
person
find
not
out.
good enough reason?
Well, I mean, no one can fill out the form. How do I get a judge to sign off when we can't even say who's missing? I mean, I can call in. I can call the office, see if they'll do it. This ain't all that weird for what they've been through. Well, we've been through, but
That might be
yeah,
the
I guess
way
I'll
to get
see.
information.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I guess I can give that a shot. Oh boy, who doesn't? I'm gonna step out and make an actual call.
Yeah, I was about to say which version. Yeah,
well, I'm gonna start with the actual call, and then if that doesn't work, then
Yeah. So you
While
want to
he's
deal
doing
with
this,
the agency?
While he's doing this, I'm flying the drone, trying to locate an RV.
Yeah. We'll do the phone call with the correspondence with the agents. Give me that roll.
Deal with the agency. All right. They're going to want something later, but that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. What are you looking for from them?
All right. Well, I will. So here's the thing: we got someone gone missing, probably some kind of deal. When we've kind of dealt with this before, but what we got right now is a roommate, and I need to know where that roommate is so that I can track down the person that's missing.
Yeah, they ask for basically follow-up details, like what they're going to need to figure out who this person is. You could start with like the screen name for Reddit, right? And then they'll be able to work out who that is and potentially how to get to them and give you that
All right.
information.
Yeah.
They just tell you this one's going to take a little bit of time.
Got plenty of that,
Yeah.
I hope.
You know that part of it is it's going to take longer because you've asked them to do something that is, shall we say, extra legal, and they're being audited currently.
Yep.
So
yeah,
like,
I
it's
know.
just,
I know y'all are busy. But there's a life on the line, so.
Mhm. Yeah. They just tell you like they will give you information. It will take some doing. Just time, basically. Awkward. You're just driving it around, like looking at the camera on the remote in front of you. You're looking for RV. You don't really see anything. Then again, from up above, it's just forest everywhere. Especially because
Yep.
you're kind of on the edge of it, right? So like you turn around and you can see a little bit of forest, and then if you get up high enough, you could see Beeman Bay. But the other direction is just forest. Forest and lots of it. Do you want to throw me a, let's say, investigate a mystery
Okay.
through the drone?
Oh shit.
Good God, awkward. Fuck me.
On
No more
fire
leveling
tonight.
up for you.
I know.
Okay, what do you got?
Oh shit! I forgot. I have to ask questions.
Uh-huh.
Two. Well, these aren't helpful questions. Does where did it go help? Maybe I see like a trail of broken down trees from an RV.
So I think what you do see is it's daytime, right? And so
Uh-huh.
what you see is a little bit of smoke from somebody burning probably a little bit of a dirty fire far, far, far in the distance. You see just a little bit of smoke. And you remember that the figure was sitting in front of a fire.
Yep. And then just for good measure, I'm gonna throw out what is being concealed here.
Yeah, I think you go up a little bit higher to look over at the fire. And where that fire is, you realize you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're panning around and you see a total of 11 other fires. All look roughly the same, at least from your vantage point.
Okay, I have good news, I have bad news, and I have potentially worse news. The good news when I was searching that guy out, I saw a fire, and now I see smoke. The bad news is I see multiple smokes, and the possibly worse news is either we have a bunch of campers out there or we have 11 separate victims.
And it's not a forest fire. You just see
Yeah,
separate
like
campsites.
yeah, like campfire fires. Well, campfire smoke.
I stopped trying to light a fire.
Cam, this took a bit of time, just because I think it took about probably an hour for like Awkward to finally dial in and figure this out while you were waiting. You get back that it is a kid named Travis Starley. You get the dorm and the room number.
All right. Well, I found the roommate. Well, I mean, the intelligence folks found the roommate because that's what they do. We got an address so we can go look and see if there's anything there what might give us some kind of idea. If we want to check all these fires, I mean, Awkward, you know how to use the drone now, right?
Yep.
Awkward, do you want to try to drive one of the drones far enough over
It's
there?
your drone.
Are you leaving this minute, Cam?
We can all travel together.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I guess we could go all the places together.
Okay, let me pull the drone in closer to the nearest campfire.
Okay, the nearest one is as you are flying Awkward, like the battery on the drone is still pretty okay, but you realize like you're getting really, really far away.
Mhm.
You didn't buy like the most expensive. You bought like a
For
hobby
sure.
model, right?
Yeah.
And the real issue is that as you're trying to get closer, the signal starts to cut on what you can see. You get far enough from the vantage point, since you went up high, like you realize, okay, going further forward is hard, going up might be better. And you do, as you're looking at them, the one closest to you, you see a fire and no art, but there is a fire, and it looks like it's in a small clearing. And you can see the smoke trail. But no other shape nearby, right?
Yeah, about how far is it? Or rather, how far of a walk?
If you
And
walked, it'd probably be about a 15-minute walk. If you
okay,
drive, you can maybe drive about halfway there before you'd have to get out and poof it.
okay. Here's what I'm thinking. We check out just one of the fires, and then we head back to check out the roommate.
We're here. That sounds reasonable.
Right. There is a chance, just so we don't get our hopes up, that people camp regularly, so we may not find what we're looking for. But I think it's prudent to at least, while it's still daytime, try one campfire.
Sure, sure.
Drive halfway, walk the rest.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a plan.
What's your approach like? Like, are you just walking in, or are you trying to be slightly circumspect to like what's your approach?
Let's not sneak up potentially on campers in the woods.
I mean, I don't see why we need to worry about that. It's a public place. Plenty of people go out and into the wilds to try drones out, so that's all we're doing.
Conversely, if it is working for the monster, it may attack on sight.
Well, good. Then we know exactly where it is.
Right, that actually would speed things up a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if not, maybe we're just looking for a camping site.
All right, let's go kill a nameless. Yeah.
I put the CNA
Okay.
in all electric mode.
Yeah, you head out. The first thing you see ahead of you is you can see a bit of a clearing. And now I think the first thing you actually spot is the smoke. Whoever is burning these fires is not like they're throwing stuff into the fire, right? And it's making the smoke dirty. So the smoke trail above is darker than it should be if they were just, burning wood. Either that or they're using some kind of accelerant. It's kind of hard to tell. But you see that little bit of fire above the tree line a little bit before you see the clearing. So you have a moment to react to that. That'll be the first thing that you see. See a little bit of fire, or I should say a little bit of smoke, rising up above the trees.
You said it's making the smoke dirty. Does it smell like they're burning like plastic? Like you know what I mean? Like it's not just wood or
From
fibers.
here, I don't think you could tell.
Okay. Cool. We drive as close as we can, and then we walk up.
Yeah, you all, as you get closer, you see a person sitting on a camping chair. They are dressed warmly. They look to be maybe mid-30s, a little bit shorter. It's a woman with red hair. She's got what looks like a suitcase sitting next to her, and she is methodically reaching in, picking up what looks like papers, and just throwing them into the fire. She reaches in, grabs an item of clothing, chucks it in the fire.
Can't want that to stop as fast as possible. Hey there, how you doing?
She doesn't seem to react. She turns. There's a very methodical kind of practiced turn, pick up, lift, drop. Turn, pick up,
Yeah,
lift,
gonna
drop.
stop that.
Yeah, you walk over. She looks up at you and just stares at you blankly.
Cam.
Shove the push the suitcase of stuff that she's pulling out of her reach.
She's just staring at you. She's not resisting at all.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have much of a facial. It's not like confusion or surprise or
Yeah,
kind of
blank
like put
look.
off. Yeah, just glazed over, blank look.
All right. Give her a little, not like a hard shake, but like a hello. Come on, wake up now. Gonna need a hand here.
I'll go directly to her suitcase.
Yeah. First off, Harlow, there's clearly some kind of weird phenomenon happening. This is a person.
Mhm.
But this is a person, but also a natural creature. And there's definitely a weird phenomenon happening. They're a person, but it's wrong. They're also something else.
Cool.
It's hard to put your finger on. It's not like with the vibe Amoros gives, right? Which is that this is a person and also there's this other thing. It doesn't feel right.
Hey, Cam. There's something bigger around.
Well, that's nice and specific.
Is she okay?
I'd love to be clearer.
Yeah, I mean, she's alive, she's breathing, she's acting, but clearly something's got a little bit of juju on her. Mind whammy, something going on. I would guess that, I would hazard a guess rather that whatever might have stole something's name could do this, or maybe she wasn't working willingly. Regardless, we
There's-
probably want to look through all of that stuff and figure out what is being destroyed. See if it has to do with this. I will make the garbled noises that
Uh-huh.
are low made.
So real quick, Cam is physically touching her, right? You were trying to get
Yep.
her to her feet.
No, I'm
Omeros,
not
where-
getting her to her feet. I am
Oh,
just
you're
sort of
just stopping her, right?
I'm stopping
Just-
her from throwing stuff.
Yeah,
into the
breaking the cycle.
Mhm.
Omeros, what are you? How close are you to her?
Like a few feet away. Like I'm not
Okay.
like crowding Cam, but I'm next to them. He
Yeah.
looks like a person in distress to me. Like
Yeah,
there's something wrong.
For sure. Deb, how about you?
I think I'm.
They're all crowded around this person, right? So
Yeah, I think I'm relatively close to Omeros. Maybe
Okay.
a step or two behind.
What about you, Harlow?
I think I'm trying to get closer because I'd like to try to banish a curse. Or,
Okay.
yeah.
And Harlow, or not Harlow. Why am I mixing Harlow and Awkward? They're not even
Because
remotely.
we gave ourselves stupid little names.
Awkward,
we both
you
have
are
AW.
in this case, Awkward, you are probably the furthest away because Cam moved the suitcase, like shoved it over.
Yeah.
I need everybody but Harlow to give me an act under pressure.
Oh
Thanks.
boy, time to bottle it up.
Well, here comes that level up.
I will take a +3 bonus to this roll.
Okay. Sick.
Haha, there it is.
Whoa.
Somebody's got to keep their shit together.
That ain't gonna be awkward.
Yeah, Cam.
Oh
Okay.
man, I'm
Nice.
Yay!
glad I took that +3, which gives you
Yeah.
3 to use against me later.
Okay. So the 9 and the 7. I'll describe what happens first. As she looks at you, her mouth goes ajar slightly, and she begins to hum. As she hums, the volume, it's odd because the volume doesn't grow. She's humming in the equivalent of a whisper, but the space that hum fills rises to the point where it feels like she is humming with a whisper directly into your ear. Amaros and Deb, you aren't affected, but you have to basically spend all of your effort with your hands over your ears, keeping any sound from getting in, right? Or you could just tank it and continue to be able to act and see what it does. But you've got a handle on it. You just have to keep your ears closed until this thing is resolved. Make sense?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah, bring it on.
Harlow, you are not affected, and Cam, you are not affected.
Yeah, that greasy rag that I was wiping my hand, like was wiping machine oil, car oil off of my hands on. I am pulling that out of my pocket, my back pocket, and stuffing it in her mouth.
You stuff it in her mouth, and the song does not stop. Awkward. I need you to jinx Cam. Roll.
It's funny because Jinx does have it in there that I can fuck with somebody.
Uh-huh.
A hunter. Oh, sorry, Cam, I have a +3.
Okay.
I don't know what that actually means, so.
Interfere with the hunter, giving them -1 forward.
Oh, okay.
You've got
And I get to hold 2.
You've got a few options here.
Uh-huh.
Let me look at your list.
That's the only bad thing for. Oh, wait, he could lose something. But I'll find it. Or, oh, I can inflict harm. Oh, no.
Oh,
Yeah. Cam, as you reach your hand out, Awkward, you turn. From your perspective, Awkward, why there's a bunch of there are a bunch of people, and like maybe it's Cam. You feel like whoever's sitting on the chair, that there's somebody grabbing them, and that's not good. So you probably need to stop the person from grabbing them, right?
Mhm.
and your immediate reaction is Jinx. Cam takes 1 harm that will ignore armor as Cam, you reach your hand out and a bee just stings you in the middle of your palm. You also get a -1 for and the other one I think I want you to do awkward is give me a your preparedness roll.
Oh God, no. Sure. Hey.
That's great. That's great.
Oh fuck, that's right. I was trying to do bad. Damn it.
Yeah, awkward. It was earlier in the week when you were at the hardware store and you wanted to pick up a nail gun. And so you find yourself, you realize I don't have a weapon. I jinxed it. I jinxed the thing, the person, the thing. It's hurt. You pull the nail gun out. You look to it and to all of the ones surrounding it, and you fire the nail gun at Cam. Luckily, Cam has armor, but all of you see Awkward pull a nail gun out and shoot at Cam. Awkward, for your purposes, right? You can react as you would if this was happening to you, right? You don't really remember why you're here, but your friend is being well, you don't really know. It's a little confusing, right? Because these people, maybe they're not people, maybe they're monsters. They're trying to do something to that person, and you're pretty sure you know them or they're a friend or something. It's really confusing, right?
Yeah,
It's
so I haven't popped back. I'm still in like a confused state.
right.
Like something feels familiar, but like I can't put my
Uh-huh.
tongue on it. Okay.
Yeah, if anything, it's just adding to your feeling of disorientation and fear, right?
Yeah. Do I regard the humming creature as a friend?
Yeah, that's your
Ah.
friend, and all these things, these people, they're trying to do something to that person, and that person needs help. Everybody else can also react too. So at this point, Amaros and Deb, you can see everything, right? You just have hands clamped over your ears. Harlow and Cam, you are hearing it, and it's every bit as intrusive and annoying. You can kind of feel it try to like take purchase. Cam, there's protocol that's start counting backwards. And so you pick a random sequence and start counting backwards, right? Because you realize what's starting to happen as part of your bottle it up, right? You're like, nope. You pick a random number and you start counting backwards in the background to keep it from interacting with your thoughts. Harlow, it just washes over you and you're only vaguely aware of it. But in addition to all of that, you all have seen Awkward. Cam got stung by a bee, and then Awkward is firing a nail gun at Cam.
I'd like to attack Awkward, but only in like I'm trying to remove this from I'd like to remove this from his hands if I can.
I'd like to jinx him on his way over.
Yeah, do it.
So he trips on something on his way to get to me. Oh my god, no!
Harlow, you take a step. You take 1 harm as a bunch of fire ants surge up your boot and start biting your ankle. In addition to that, you trip and find yourself stumbling for a second, and will also take the -1 forward.
Oh wow!
So you've got fire ants on your right leg.
Awkward
is back.
Hurt you.
Awkward is backing up and panicking.
Deb is gonna start walking towards the van, hands still over her ears, and sort of yell out towards Awkward, "Hey kid, come join me at the van." And I am going to try and manipulate someone.
Sure.
Hey.
Interesting. So the rules for this are so the way this looks to you is that one of them says this to you and you feel okay, your cowardice kicks in, right? You can't save this person. If this person is offering to get you out of here, maybe they're a traitor to the rest of them, and they're trying to take this opportunity to get you out of here. So going with that person it might be a good idea.
Okay.
So you can go with Deb. That part gets through.
Yeah, I'm keeping my nail gun trained on Harlow as I like slowly make a wide berth around this group closer towards Deb.
Harlow, give me an act under pressure roll. To fucking,
Sure.
you're still going for awkward. Just because you got a little stumbly. I think this one, yeah, I'll let that ride because
Definitely
you are
a phenomenon or effect.
yeah, it's specifically
yeah.
because the jinx is on you. I will give this to you because if you had just been running and you hadn't been jinxed, it'd just be like you just are dealing with trying to steal a nail gun from a guy, right?
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
awkward is laying magical shit on you. So yeah, you have the -1,
God
but you
damn it.
ooh. Okay. Okay, I will write that down.
Do I get experience for listening to Deb?
Yeah, that's you listened to what Deb had to say. Deb convinced you to go to the van. Are you going to the van with Deb?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Harlow's not making any ground towards me. Right?
Harlow,
Yeah,
you swipe for the nail gun, and like this is when the pain from the fucking fire ants kicks in. And you're like, what the fuck? You're not even sure there's supposed to be fire ants here. You don't even know if this is fire ant biome. What did you just get bit by? It fucking hurts. Yeah, Amaros.
Can I I'd like to this thing is like screaming and causing a big problem here.
It's
And
got a
clearly
rag stuffed in its mouth and is continuing to hum.
continuing, yeah, and
Mhm.
I'm having a hard time with it. I'd like to try to cast out evil, which will banish an unnatural creature from my presence.
Okay.
I make a tough roll. A 14.
Ow.
Be gone.
Yeah. She turns to you and disappears. The sound abruptly cuts out almost like a soap bubble. Like that just pop. All of your ears are immediately ringing and kind of stinging. Awkward. Suddenly you're back to you're following Deb to the van. You're about halfway to the van, and suddenly that's Deb you're following. You're retroactively, you're not really aware of what you saw, but this is Deb.
Okay, so I'm not aware of what just happened. Like I snap back and sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, your perception of it is as you saw it, right?
Yeah, I
whatever
guess
that
what I'm
was seemed
asking-
real.
I guess what I'm asking is my gun is still trained on Harlow, even though I'm making my way towards Deb. So do I see something that's weird and confusing that snaps into a Harlow, or do I see Harlow and don't remember what I just did?
You snap. You see everybody and Deb, everybody in the clearing. Your gun is trained on Harlow. That's what you see, right? But it's impossible to know if something weird just happened, right? It's just that you were pointed at something that wasn't Harlow, and now it's Harlow. Chippy, what are you doing? Stop it.
Okay, so I don't necessarily remember what I did, but I did see something turn into Harlow.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'll drop the nail gun
Uh-huh.
and say, because Harlow fell, right? Harlow's still on the ground.
Harlow's standing. Harlow's just swatting at his leg. Because there's some fucking stinging little bastard insects climbing all over one leg.
Okay, I'm not gonna drop the nail gun. I'll just kind of like drop my arm to the side, and yeah, no, I'll just ask Harlow what happened. Like, I'm very confused as to why he's swatting his leg.
Cam, by the way, for your part, you this is a very strange feeling because you're holding on to this person, right? You're getting ready to potentially like put them in a lock or do something to try to cut off like this sound, right? And then suddenly you're just not holding anything. Like it doesn't feel like something faded away into vapor. It's just suddenly not there.
Okay.
Yeah, we snap back. Everybody is in this situation. Fire is still burning. The suitcase is still there.
Actually, I think I'm gonna raise my nail gun back up and do a sweep, just like a circle, to look for any confusing things.
Yeah. You don't see anything, just a fire and a
You
suitcase.
pick it back up.
Yeah, pretty
Scream!
much.
You absolutely not! You just shot Cam.
Cam, there is a
What?
nail like embedded in your body armor. It was a pretty good shot though. That would have been like, I guess the heart. It was a nail gun, so it would have just sort of stuck in there and hurt. But
I'm literally so glad you didn't make me roll tough.
All right. Well, we definitely found something strange.
I'm gonna try to treat my own wounds and Cam's wounds, with just shit that I've got on me for the forest.
yeah. So the only wound either of you have is the one wound that made it through on your hand, which was the fucking jinx. Otherwise, you both are clean.
Didn't I get one from the fire ants?
Yeah, that's what I meant. The jinx
Yeah.
the jinx was the thing that gave each of you a harm. It just manifested
yes.
as a bee sting and the fire ants.
Yeah, that I've got magical poultices for sure. I'm gonna roll for Cam first. Try to heal Cam.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! You heal.
Yeah, it's just a bee sting. I'll be okay. That feels better.
And then it has a glitch.
I quite like the you take the harm transference.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
The bee sting appears on your palm, the one like the left palm that's like tucked in your pocket. Uh-huh.
I'll try to treat the fire ants as well, but I won't try to heal my second bee sting. That's just how magic works.
Oh no!
That makes sense too.
Okay, that's 2 failures. Yeah, Carlo, as you're in the middle of this working, this second working to treat your own problem, the forest very suddenly feels incredibly oppressive. Like the speed at which the atmosphere changed for you is enough to like physically feel like a weight settling into your chest. Like somebody's put a 5-pound weight and just placed it directly in your center mass.
Okay. I immediately begin to shed some tokens. I break off some like keychains off of my keys and leave them here as offerings and say, I think we should get going.
Yeah, before those creatures come back.
We
I
should
will
grab
start
whatever's in that
throwing-
suitcase and go.
Yeah, I was gonna say I will start stuffing papers back into the briefcase.
Uh-huh.
Someone should see if she's got an ID or something.
She gone.
Anything
she-
else left?
Did she just have the suitcase, or does she also have an?
Just the suitcase and whatever was on her person, but everything that was
Okay.
on her person is gone
Yeah.
with her. The suitcase, as far as you can tell, has clothes and a bunch of just papers, loose papers, potential like documents and shit, just thrown haphazardly. It's not even particularly full, though. You're not sure if that's because this has been happening a while or because, there just wasn't that much stuff.
Yeah. Whatever's in here, we'll go find somewhere to. Harley, you okay? You don't look so good. We'll get somewhere and try to go through these. I guess, Harlow, you'll have to be the one to go through them, since if that name is on there, then you're the only one's going to read it anyway.
Right. Right.
All right, we should put out this fire before we leave.
Only you
On it.
prevent forest fires. Okay, and you are leaving the forest at this point, right?
Yeah, put out
Are
the
you going to
fire,
one of the
grab the
others?
grab the documents. Do
Okay.
the others look like greasy fire also, or do they look like more normal flame, like smoke?
Harlow would know they looked greasy. They were all not Harlow. God, why awkward? You saw the flames. They were all the same sort of unhealthy black, right?
Yeah. Before we leave, I would like to sensitive this area.
Yeah.
See if I can get anything from it. Oh, okay.
Dear God. Okay.
On a 10 or more, you get a definite impression, a vision, tangible aura, overheard thought, etc., about something important.
So there is a lot of just general emotion pouring out of the suitcase. The papers specifically are heavy laden with heavy laden with emotion and with emotional resonance. What's strange is the rest of the clearing is almost disorienting because it feels like a void of anything.
Void of what? Sorry.
Of anything.
Anything. Okay.
Like there's not even doesn't even feel like there's any when you use this sometimes you get you kind of overhear the emotions and feelings of like wildlife, just the world, right? Just
Yeah.
weird shit that happens. This place is a like a sink. It's a void. There's nothing
A
here.
dead zone.
Yeah. But there is a lot coming from the papers in that suit.
Okay, cool. I'll save that information for when we're in the car.
Yeah, you make it back to Deb's van safely.
Well, just to ask, if all the fires were similar, should we check them or be satisfied with what we have?
I think I got earplugs.
That's a great idea. We should find out if that works.
I'm with you. I mean, I figure there if all the fires are like that, then they're destroying stuff that we probably don't want them destroying. More we get to, the more stuff we get, more information we have. Quicker we can find this person that's gone missing, and quicker we can find whatever made him missing.
Yeah,
Well, can we?
I think that's the way to go. How do you make that one disappear?
Oh, me?
Hmm.
Mm. If there's something, anything that shouldn't be here, creatures from another place, anything unnatural, I can push it through across the threshold, but I don't know where it goes.
Oh, wonderful. So you confirm they're unnatural. And Deb takes out her hunting rifle.
Most
Hey, does that
definitely.
focus on one thing or like an area?
Mm, it's fairly difficult. Only one at a time.
Hmm. That complicates things. Can I see that suitcase?
Yeah, I mean the suitcase is sitting in the car. I assume you zipped it up just to transport it easily, but you unzip
Yeah.
it. All we can look in.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
start looking through the documents since they were screaming at me.
The documents are handwritten, fairly haphazard. The first thing that's apparent, who is all looking at the documents?
I think are we able to drive to the next place and then walk, or do we have to walk to the next place?
Probably. So at least to the next like 2, you could potentially drive and then walk. Driving to the ones that are a little further over what would be to the east, yeah. You'd have to drive a little bit further because you'd have to like loop around
Yeah, then I
or
think
just
we
walk across.
I think we drive and walk, and they're looking at papers as we're in the car, right? That way we're
Yeah.
moving forward.
Yeah, Deb can certainly drive while
Mhm.
people pour over the papers. Those that are looking at the papers, which I'll assume is Awkward, Harlow, Amaros, are you, and Cam as well.
Nah, I wouldn't be. That's like
Yeah.
kind of too many people to be jammed in, unless
Mhm.
there's like so many papers to spread out to people.
There could be, but at the moment, if it's like in the center in the back seat, like 4
Yeah,
people
no,
is pretty
I
good
got
to like.
I got shotgun. Are you kidding me?
Everybody who is looking at the papers, it becomes pretty clear that these are handwritten notes. And they're a little weird because as you're kind of piecing it together with no real investigation necessarily required, it becomes clear that what you're reading is a disjointed journal. Although it's a journal with specificity that is crazy. Like, there must have been a lot of paper here. Because the details is like specific days on like a day when this woman was 12. You also realize there are no mentions of name anywhere in here, even to Harlow's eyes. This is a first-person account of a life, maybe the whole life. But the problem is, it's not in any particular order. The papers were just loosely thrown in this bag. And it seems like there's probably a lot missing if it's consistent to this person's whole life, like it seems to be.
And you said no name.
Yeah, no name. It's all first person, right?
Mhm.
So there are references. I think Harlow, you're the one to catch it, if only because it's somebody referring to this woman, right? And like a parent referring to them by their full name, and you can get the full name, which is it's a woman named Bonnie Mathis. But
Bonnie Mathis.
Yep.
Okay.
To everybody else, it just says girl.
I would like to use my hold for the tune in.
Okay.
How can I attract its attention?
Your sense is that if the best way to do it would be you're kind of piecing together what happened, that song, right? And I
Yeah.
think that's the part of it that clicks for you, is that song was familiar to you, and it was the one that you heard in your vision, right? And your sense is that the best way to drag a thing's attention is simply it's not a good answer, but it's to lean into the song. Let yourself be a thrall, right? You will get its attention then. If only because it has to direct you.
Yeah, I think what I was kind of looking for, because like clearly grabbing it and holding it attracts its attention. So
Uh-huh.
is there any other type of like activities that will like turn its focus away from whatever it's doing to like us and potentially see us as a threat? I don't know if that was them responding to a threat, but like what I'm trying to get at is like how do we protect ourselves from these things, or how do we not attract its attention so it can keep doing its business while we investigate?
From that, the one you tuned in,
Yeah.
the task is wait on that
Uh-huh.
minion, right?
Yeah.
And so it will wait. It didn't seem like it's burning anything yet, although it did have a fire, right? But in your vision, you didn't see this person putting anything into that fire.
Yeah.
It's waiting.
Yeah, as I'm like absentmindedly going over the papers, I'll just kind of say, that was the song in my dream, by the way.
That noise?
You heard a noise? I heard a song.
I have an idea. Actually, Awkward, you gave me the idea. If
You're
this is a charming effect, then we should have a safe word to know that the other person isn't charmed. Frowny face means I'm safe.
Wow, that's so cute.
Hey, awkward.
Yeah.
While you're thinking about it, is your name awkward? What is your name awkward or Auckland?
It's Auckland, but everyone calls me
Yeah.
Awkward
It is, but why do they call you awkward?
because I'm awkward.
It must be right because now that you're thinking about it, what's your last name?
Edward.
Is it though? You can't really remember. You think it must be. Well, I guess maybe they do just call you awkward because you're awkward, right?
Yeah.
Because
So I don't remember my name currently, or I don't remember my last name.
right.
Wait, which one was it?
Yeah, you don't remember your last name.
Okay. And I was just had this thought, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's that like idly you were kind of like it just occurred to you, like there was nothing to bring it up necessarily, right? Until you thought about it and you're like, wait. And have that like spike of panic when you're like, oh shit, no.
Yeah, I kind of want to take it in a different direction. If it's cool with you.
Okay, go ahead.
Instead of like panic, I'll just put down the pictures, the journal pages, and just like look around with like my head cocked and just go, "Hey, I know I can be kind of weird sometimes, so forgive me, but what's my last name?"
Harlow, you remember it. Nobody else does. As far as you know, awkward. Maybe it's a one name thing like Prince. It
Yeah.
fits, I guess, but Harlow, you know what it is though.
I
I'll
think there's
say
like
it.
some
You say it and blah, 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 blah.
Now I'll panic.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, no, I think I'll even take it further. And I will like stand up in this moving car, or at least get him. Yeah, stand up in this moving car, move towards him, grab his like shirt, and say, "What is my last name, Harlow?"
You feel free to do the blah, 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 blah if you want to. It's fun to do it. It's fun to do the sound. You can just edit that in every time you're gonna say it. Just blah, 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 blah.
Okay, if you can't hear your name, what did you do?
How do we not know? I'm from a famous family. I'm a part of the. Oh my gosh.
Word.
They're acting strange.
Okay, what have you done besides shoot Cam in the last like hour
What do you mean shoot camp?
with the nail gun? I'll pick up and shake the nail gun in the air.
Why would I shoot Cam?
Excellent question.
Okay. I didn't shoot Cam.
Okay, we all saw you shoot Cam.
Okay, well then it's a mass hallucination because there's no reason for me to shoot Cam.
Cam, you have a nail embedded in your body armor, for the record.
I know.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to say it can't be a mass hallucination when I know that all of you guys are suffering from a glamour right now. Um,
Unlikely. Impossible to glamour me.
Oh,
If those earplugs work, what is the plan if they're one of them again?
we should keep our ears plugged, I think, or else the enchantment is going to, I don't know, cause more violence.
Right, of
I'm
course.
stowing
Again,
the nail gun into my bag. I'm stealing that from
yeah.
Awkward.
It's
yes.
good. It's good. It's
I
good to
Given
want
have
that
that.
given that the earplugs work, which will be good science to understand if they do or don't, and if they do, what is our plan? We capture this person. How do we talk to them if they're just singing the whole time?
Are we of the mind that we're able to communicate with these creatures? Kind of seems one way.
We could figure out a magical path to communicate with them. That's possible. But has anyone tried
Who's the
doing
best
anything
singer?
different?
Well, I was about to try something, but then everything kind of went easy.
And you shot Cam.
Your words, not mine.
Well, I think we should try it simply and try singing to it. I mean, that's been its way of communicating.
Let me try something before we try the singing, because if it does respond to that communication, we don't know how it will respond. But I feel like if we leave it alone just for a second for me to, let's call it look in, um, that's probably less likely to elicit a response from it.
Sure, plan B.
Yeah. Yeah. So we go in, I look in, then we sing, and then
Yeah, I think that one is where it just all,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
we play by ear.
Why are we sending in Awkward first when we've already seen that Awkward is getting turned on us while the rest of us aren't? No offense, Awkward, but yeah, that's not happening.
well, I don't necessarily have to be next to it.
Right, we'll get close enough. I mean, we're going there anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we also got to stop whatever's being burned. We've got to be at one of these sites by now. We got to stop whatever's getting burned from getting burned. So I'm going in there and I'm stopping it from getting burned.
Okay, well, why don't we let Awkward try first and then we go in? Right? Plan B.
Awkward.
Can I? Sorry, go ahead.
Plan A is stopping the burning, at least for me.
It'll take
Awkward.
seconds.
Can you try whatever you want to try from inside the car?
No, I think I have to be within eyesight.
Deb, you're getting pretty close to the stop point for this
Pl-
first one, where you'll have to
pl-
hop out.
Okay.
Can I roll the preparedness to see if I have earplugs?
Cam, I think, would have earplugs. The
Oh,
question
for all of us?
Probably. I don't see why not. Like,
Okay, cool. Never
have
mind.
what? I mean, I assume it's just one of those like boxes that you can buy at like.
They come in
Walgreens,
what
right?
looks like a pill bottle.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
about the size of a
I have
bottle of
one.
Advil.
Yeah, I have one sitting on my desk currently. Or sorry, sitting on my nightstand. I sleep with earplugs every night. Yeah, no, you have the like little bottle to pull out.
I mean, I would assume Deb would have some if she's keeping a gun in her car, because
This is also
man, that
true.
is
Deb has probably like two
Massive
pairs
hearing loss
of-
already? Yeah, probably.
Well, I mean the Harley doesn't help.
Okay. So the plan is we all protect ourselves from what is happening. I take a second to look in. You don't have to stop. You can go directly to whatever's being burned and stop
Yep.
it. Although I do want to point out that the one that I looked into from far away, he wasn't burning anything, so we may not have that as a problem coming into it. And then after that happens, we prevent whatever's being burned. Then we sing to it. Sound good?
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah, I'll sing to it, and Deb pats her rifle.
Okay, we'll sing to it, and then Deb shoots it.
Sometimes I get the
plan's
order
weird.
of things wrong.
Okay. Can you at least wait to
She's
shoot it until I
joking.
look in?
You are joking, aren't you?
I guess we'll all find
Also,
out.
it's probably important to say that these were kidnapped people, and I don't know if there's a chance that we could free them, but there might be. Probably keep that in mind.
No, I
Not sh-
listen. I understand, but I think that the likelihood of us freeing them goes way down if they turn us.
I think they're
That's
not
fair.
people anymore.
Yeah,
I
again,
couldn't
that
banish
last
any
one
of
just-
you.
They're-
That last one just boop, poof.
They are still people. There's just something else too.
Maybe.
Well, I'll do my best
More
to shoot to something
science.
else.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you've
think-
reached the stop. Awkward, you would know orientation wise, the one that probably has the person not burning anything would be further. You'd have to drive around a little bit, right? The straightest shot was dead ahead, in which case there was 3 kind of in a line, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say
the one-
whoever's not burning something, they're not a priority.
Yeah, the one that was burning something, you're essentially going through a line of that seem to be burning, or you would now hypothesize are burning. That guy was over, kind of on the other side of where you are. So yeah, you guys stop. There is a you're on a road through the forest, so you're gonna have to hop out and it. Probably about 5 minutes. Are you going in quiet or same thing as last time?
I want to say quiet, but I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Cam's
last
doing
time's
something
fine.
and Awkward's doing something.
Okay, you
I mean,
again
I'll
same.
progress quietly, but if there's paperwork being destroyed, that's when Cam will rush in.
Yeah. And I think Deb is going to keep a little bit more distance than last time, and ideally find a tree with a low branch that she can use to prop the hunting rifle up, get a little bit better shot.
Yeah, as you are getting closer, you can see the color of the smoke changes rapidly from that dirty to much more smoke and white.
They've elected a new pope.
Yeah.
Are we close enough to see him?
Yeah, as you get even closer, you finally see the clearing. Similar clearing, not really clearing as much as it is just a section without a, central tree. Same thing. A guy sitting in a hunting chair. He is holding in his hands a bucket that he has just thrown at the fire. He rises to his feet. He's a fairly big guy, maybe 6'3", blonde, pretty fit, which you notice because he's wearing like exercise gear, right? Like unseasonable if he's just been out here.
Dude's wearing a tracksuit.
Yeah, dude's wearing a tracksuit with like Under Armour underneath it. He turns, looks at you, and just stands there, blank faced.
Yeah, I would like to sensitive.
Okay, do it to it.
Oh, thank God.
Jesus Christ. Awkward.
I know. I wish I had that advanced.
Awkward. There is nothing. Absolutely nothing in that figure. There's no feeling. There's no sense of anything. It's like a mannequin, and it feels like an inanimate object.
Since he has earplugs in and he's probably never had earplugs in before, I'm not going to yell, but Awkward is yelling. And he says, "Okay, Harlow, you can do what you need to do."
That's a good bit, Doug. That's a very good bit.
Dude, I'm right here.
Oh shit! Oh, Cam, you can do what you need to do.
He's still just standing there. He's not looking at any of you in particular. It looks like the eyes are kind of locked, like center middle, a little bit over your head.
I'm gonna peer behind me. Yeah, is there something behind us?
Cam, you're gonna ask something?
Is there like a suitcase full of stuff that he's burning?
Nope.
Are there the remnants of a suitcase
I was
and
saying,
stuff that he's burning?
is there something that indicates that burning happened or was done? Because I
Yeah.
was under
So
the impression we went to a fire.
Right. You don't see the suitcase. You don't see the papers, but you do see the remnants in the ash underneath. He's doused it with a bucket of water, right? But it hasn't completely gone out yet, and you can see the burnt remains of paper in the fire.
And I didn't feel it. The fire was the dead zone too, right?
Yep. So
Can I-
he definitely was burning
Yeah,
something.
he was, and he finished. So
Are you saying Harlow?
Can I try saying Dominic again?
Yeah, there's no response.
Okay.
Harlow, now is not the time for gibberish.
Come
Sir?
on, man.
Excuse me, sir. Are you all right?
The eyes shift to you, Amoros, and just stare. It's odd because it's not even like, when like a dumb animal or something like looks at you and you're like, oh, there's just nothing in there, right? It's sort of like there is still something in there. It's just sort of in his case, it just doesn't feel like there's anything behind that stare. He doesn't respond.
Amaros, he's got brain function, but there's nothing. No thoughts, no auras. The dude is a dead zone. This entire area is a dead zone.
Kind of wave my hand. I approach like close, within
Yeah.
a few feet, and kind of just wave my hand and lean a little bit to see.
He tracks your hand, like he tracks the movement.
Yeah. Definitely something missing.
Try humming to it.
I hum a song on the radio.
It just he stares at you.
All right, I'll start humming the tune that they hum.
Everybody sees this. The eyes flicker to you, Awkward, faster than any other movement, but then they settle back into that placid stare. But that was the quickest eye movement any of you had seen.
And
he
just
specifically looked at me.
Yeah, as he looked at you.
Okay.
just so I'm clear, Awkward's been yelling this whole time, correct? Because
Yeah.
Yes.
you got the earplugs in. Okay. Deb is going to walk closer, still with the rifle at the ready, and say, did you say this was a dead zone? And that feller there's empty?
If I answer yes, are you going to shoot it? Him?
No, it occurs to me, if he's empty and this is a dead zone, what happens if we get him out of the zone?
Oh. Then yes.
Sir, would you like to come with us?
Don't grab him. That didn't work out for us last time. Does anyone have a rope?
I'll put my rifle
Who
down.
carries rope?
I'll
You know,
put my
just
rope
like
down
lasso him and pull him.
Yeah, you put your rifle down.
and just say, hey, big fella, why
The eyes shift to you.
don't you come take a little walk and then a ride with us? And this looks like it's someone to me. I'm going to try and manipulate it.
Okay.
I'll use
Go
my
Deb.
I'll use my 1 forward to make that a 7, which is a partial success.
Yo.
Yeah. The eyes flicker to you, and the ask here is rather easy, which is clear to you like you need to start walking. Maybe it'll mimic you.
Yeah.
He.
Yeah.
And you start walking, and the figure steps forward, and he's matching you pace for pace, just
Yeah.
walking the same direction. His movements as he walks doesn't look robotic or unnatural, actually. He's walking fairly normal. Like it's not like he's, like moving like an automaton.
Right. I'll just call out to everybody. Well, let's get moving. Do you think we should walk him out, or do you think we should get him in the car?
Let's get him in the car. Let's get out of here.
We got other sites to get to, although it feels kind of pointless now.
As soon as he exits what I remembered as the edge of the dead zone, I'd like to sensitive again.
Do it to it.
All right. Oh no! Okay, well, when I fail, my brain makes contact with something dangerous.
Pros and cons.
Yeah,
it's
it's helped us a lot, and I'm fucked.
You throw the gates wide, and for a brief moment, your eyes just sort of switch off. Suddenly, it's already kind of disorienting because you have the earplugs in, right? And you can't hear anything. Everything's got that that dream-like quality already. Just hearing muffled noises. You hear beat. You hear the sound of your clothes moving as it conducts through the bones of your face. And in that brief moment, you are sitting at a table.
Oh god.
You are on the side of the table, and this one is more of a banquet, so you're sitting in the middle and a little bit, probably 1 or 2 close to the figure on the left. On the left, you see you, but in a suit. And on the right, you see, as you try to make out the figure, resolve it into anything, you can't get there. You don't. It's a person, but the features are wrong, and you can't quite get your brain around what it looks like. But you begin to hear the song. And you hear from your left, from the other you, through the earplugs. Feels as if you aren't even wearing any plugs. Here, no. this one's mine. You can't have it. This song is getting louder, and the figure like bangs its fists on the table over and over again. Says, "No, no, this one is mine, and you cannot have it." The eyes flick to you, Awkward, and says, "Go to sleep now." Awkward, you pass out, and that vision cuts. There's just nothing, right? There's the void of you are asleep. Everybody sees Awkward sway for a moment in mid-step, and then just fall to the ground.
Can one of us catch them?
Yeah, Amros, you probably are the one who's fast enough. If you just teleport already there, standing underneath.
Yeah, just to keep them from slamming their head.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep them on their feet. And just say, "Oh, what's happening?" Or Awkward.
Awkward looks unconscious. You realize
Kinda-
Awkward's eyes are open, but maybe asleep, but like breathing
think
for
he's-
sure.
I think he's asleep.
Take
I
him.
know it's
Try to rouse him.
I know it's probably not done in the best kind of way, but on the other hand, that's Awkward getting actual sleep. So maybe just put him in the back seat.
I scoop Awkward up into my arms. We escort Awkward and this guy to the van.
Yeah,
See if we can get this thing out of the zone and doing something.
The guy just marches along. You get to the van, open up the door. How do you gesture him to go into the van? Dev?
I walk in the side door of the van,
Uh-huh.
right, so that he'll follow me, and then I climb over like the center
Yeah.
console and into the driver's seat.
Yep. He climbs in, is crouched for a moment, and then just sits. Like he moves as if he's going to climb over the console, right?
Right.
And then instead just leans back and sits. So he's sitting in the middle of the row.
Harlow, would you be a dear and reach over and put a seatbelt on him?
Sure thing, boss.
I'll put Awkward in a back row, lay them
Mhm.
down.
Clip the seatbelt like around the chest.
Yeah. I'm sure Dev has a car blanket. I give
Yeah.
him the car blanket.
Kind of hoping you would sit me up Weekend at Bernie style.
Sunglasses on.
The sunglasses
Yeah.
shift up a little
Sunglasses
bit,
on.
just because it's fun for the audience to see this particular thing. Amros, as you're tucking Awkward in, right? You're like in the blanket, trying to get a seatbelt kind of situated, so the Awkward doesn't roll forward the second somebody breaks. The sunglasses slip up Awkward's head a little bit, and Awkward is just staring straight ahead, eyes fully wide open, like those. It's the most direct look of Awkward's eyes you've ever seen. They appear to be glowing, but Awkward's just staring straight ahead. There's no pupil movement, no nothing. The eyes are locked in place, looking straight ahead as you're tucking Awkward in and putting a blanket around him.
It is just kind of funny. I tuck him in. I put the glasses back gently and just say kind of pat him on the shoulder. Just say, "Snap out of it soon, buddy."
Okay. Do you begin driving out of the forest?
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan. I think we're trying to see whether or not this thing's got a radius that it affects things.
Mm-hmm. You begin to drive. There doesn't seem to be any discernible change from either of the differently incapacitated passengers. it takes you a bit. At this point, you're back to where the campsite was that you started with your drone investigation. Beyond there, you continue south until you break the perimeter of Hybor. As you cross onto, there's kind of the division line of the last tree, basically, right before they've cut down the trees, and there's the main, essentially the main road town. Awkward, you slam to wakefulness, like abruptly, like incredible weird feeling of like you were just walking and now you are laying belted in with a blanket on you. There's no absence of time. Actually, it feels a lot like when you try to leave, right? And
Yeah.
your sequence of time just clicks so that you're now this. And your eyes fucking hurt again.
Yeah, I was gonna say he kind of like jumps up with a start, and then like before he can really take anything in and figure out where he's at, he just goes, "Oh my eyes! What did you do?"
You've been staring this whole time.
Did you ever think to maybe try and close them?
No.
Okay, should that happen again, and God forbid it does, attempt to close. And he'll pull out the Visine.
Yep. Yeah, at this point,
that
you are a jumble of a seatbelt put on wrong because it was put on to try to lock you in place when you're laying down. A blanket tucked up around you. Your fucked up eyes as you're trying to get a hand to put
Arms
Invisalign
pinned to
in.
your sides
Yeah.
under the blanket, but your eyes are dry.
You're just fucking flailing your way out from behind the blanket, like.
two things. The tea party that I was at, which I'm just gonna call a tea party. Was that in the same forest? Was that somewhere else? Could I see past the table?
That the table you didn't recognize, but the house and the area around it felt similar to when you talked to that particular thing before.
Okay.
When you were in your old house back when you had more money. The mansion, right?
Okay, so I was in my childhood
But
home.
yeah, but the thing that was weird is that table was never there. And there was never a room that was quite as big as to hold how big the table was, right? Like it was a long banquet table.
Yeah. I forgot what the second thing was.
Okay. Okay. The individual hasn't changed. Nothing different. Sitting placidly. He's blinking. He's breathing. The eyes seem to track movement of anything directly in front of him. So if somebody, like, when Deb moves to, like, turn the wheel, the eyes flick to watch the movement. But that's about it.
Does he have
I'm
a
sorry,
wallet
y'all.
on
That
him?
excellent question.
Yeah, you search through the pockets. You don't see a wallet. You see a phone with no battery. And you see a pair of like the buds for what would be wireless earbuds, yeah. No ID or anything. Just a phone and these earbuds.
I'm gonna try to get that plugged in on one of Deb's. I'm sure she's got charging cords in here.
Oh yeah, it's an Uber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to get that turned on, and we'll try to use thumb recognition when we get a second.
Yeah, you plug the phone in. It like it looks like it's powering up, although you don't see the bar moving. You're worried potentially it could be wet. If it is, you just might have to wait for it to like dry. It was in his pocket, but you don't know what he's been doing. Like, Hybor Forest is pretty fucking damp, and if the guy's just been standing there like an NPC in a video game for some extended period of time, like, the earbuds are pretty damp.
Ew. What were you gonna say a minute ago, Adam? Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna say, well, that idea seemed to be a bust. Um, I wonder if we should head back in and try and clean up the rest of them sites. Although, if everybody's like this, I don't know what real good it'll do.
Well, it's better than them being just out there. But what do we do with all of them? There were how many campfires?
Dozen total.
What do we do with how do we fit a dozen people in here? I mean, where do we bring them even if we do?
I'd say they should go and get some medical attention, but I'm not sure putting a hospital at risk is a good decision here.
Surely you know somebody that could be helpful? Medical professional that doesn't ask questions?
I mean, not really. I don't got a whole lot of support here. DFA's budget being what it is, I've been the only one out here for a while now. Um, if you do that thing again, that the one that sends non, what did you call them?
Unnatural creatures.
Unnatural creatures. Yeah, that's the one. Oh boy, is that a wide, a wide category. Where does that actually send them? Like, where did that other one go?
No idea. I don't have any control of it. I can just make it not be here anymore.
Got it.
You all witnessed it the first time when there was a Rusty that Amaros just shouted and some energy rushed forth, and the Rusty turned on its heel and ran.
Um.
I remember what the second thing was. Sorry.
Oh, go on. Go on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. He's just gonna like whisper to himself, so he's not necessarily saying this to anybody else or not trying to get them over here. And tell me how much of this gets out. But he says, "I am awkward because I am Auckland."
he just chanting it like a mantra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think whoever is in the second round only can hear, which I think would be Harlow and Cam.
Do I get all the words out?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
You okay, Aki?
Better than I was in the van reading those journals.
What happened?
I don't
Also,
know. I
you're
forgot
in
my
the
last
van.
name.
Oh, you
Oh,
forgot it.
wait. Are you talking about the first time in the van or the second time in the van?
I think maybe all the times in the vans. You passed out.
Yeah, I was asleep for sure. I don't know. I'll get back to you.
Well, do we bring these people to uh, a hospital? I could. I mean, we could. I could rent them a hotel room.
I can try talking with him first, using some magic, maybe bypass whatever's silencing him now.
Sure.
Yeah, that
I
sounds
think
like a great
hospital's the
idea.
best bet because I mean he ain't exactly gonna be eating or drinking, so if we take him somewhere and he's not getting the right treatment, then he might just die in a few days.
I agree to an extent that he needs to go to a hospital, but we saw what that other thing did to us, me.
Right.
Do we really want to put him around innocent bystanders?
Well, I mean the other one started shouting when we tried to stop it. Well, when I stopped it from doing that stuff and grabbed a hold of it, this one's done. Mission accomplished, papers burned.
I don't know if that's true. Because the one that I looked into, he wasn't burning anything, but his sole objective was to wait. Like something's coming. Or orders have yet to be given.
Well, if we think we've got a day or maybe two, uh, that this feller can survive,
I mean, if we can get an IV, I can keep him alive. It just ain't gonna be nice.
well,
God.
I got a soundproof room he ain't getting out of.
Like a recording studio.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we do podcasts from there.
Ooh. I could use a new listen.
Approximately how old would we estimate this individual to be?
Yeah, at first glance, maybe late 20s, though when you look at like his hairline and a few other, he's probably closer to late 30s.
Okay.
I'd like to try using magic on him
Mhm.
to try to lift the hold on him first.
Mhm.
And if that goes very wrong, then I'm going to try using magic differently.
Okay, describe for me what that looks like here. I assume you're sitting
Yeah.
to like the left or the right of this guy.
Yeah, I think I'm grabbing his hands and building a circle between the two of between our arms. Um and I will begin to chant. I think I have like focuses on me that that I can produce as well. Um
Real quick
uh
thing.
mhm.
You reach out to try to touch his hand, right?
Yeah.
Your hand passes through.
Ah! I try that a few times.
Yep.
I turn to see what you're yelling about.
I put my hand on your face.
Yeah, you touch Amaros's face.
Oh, thank God it's not me.
The eyes track to Amaros. They don't seem to follow Harlow's hand.
I might have to try this a different way. And I'll start going through my shit and pull out some more practical equipment to do the
Uh-huh.
same ritual.
We saw Harlow's hand go through.
Yep.
I reach out to try to like put a finger onto their chest.
Yeah. Feel solid.
I just keep the finger there and look at Harlow.
Babe, I wish I had an explanation.
I have no idea.
It feels sort of like the same sort of thing where you can remember the names and read them and we can't. This is something that's probably not actually here, but we're being told it is. But you, whatever you got going means that you can, same way you're getting through the magic keeping us from knowing the name, you're getting through the magic that tells you that this thing that ain't here is here. So, like, I'm willing to bet if you try to banish this thing, Omeros, that well, there ain't actually nothing here to banish. It might stick around.
Maybe. Maybe not. We'd have to test that to know. And if it doesn't work, well,
Could just be it wasn't unnatural.
could
But for
be
the fact
it's
that we
not
can all,
unnatural.
but for the fact that Harlow can, put his hand right through it.
I look into the eyes of this guy and say, I'm going to call you David. David, you seem not here, but are you hurt in some way? I know he probably can't and does not respond, but
Yeah, he doesn't.
I
you're
yeah.
like watching to try to see if the blinks represent anything, and no.
Yeah, just looking to see,
Yeah.
anything on there. I can touch them. I'm gonna try to lay on hands to heal
Mhm.
any injury or disease and see if that has any effect because I have a physical interaction with them. A 10.
Okay.
They heal 2 harm or an illness plus they're stabilized, whatever that means, if anything.
Amros, you what does it look like when you do this?
I think right, like I just place my hand gently onto their chest and like as them about to make contact with them, right, a little kind of golden glow comes out around the hand, like little wrappings, and it just looks like it's feeding kind of into them a bit.
Amros, to everyone else it looks, Amros lays a hand on somebody. You, as you exert and feel the power flow from the bag down your arm and out of your hand, you feel it disappear. Like it doesn't. You pour the power out, and it doesn't. You don't feel that moment of connection that tells you it's doing something, right?
Yeah, does it feel
It
like
just
it's
disappears.
yeah, it goes.
It's leaving you, right? But you're not feeling that moment of like connecting yourself to the energy lattice that is another person, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I pull my hand back and say, well, I'm not so sure I had any effect on them. The energy seemed to go from me to them and somewhere else, maybe. Or maybe nowhere.
I'm gonna try to finish that ritual and
Uh-huh.
banish.
Okay, so you are trying to do the banish effect, right?
Yes, and let me make sure I've got let's see, uh, creature or a natural phenomenon, unnatural creature, weird phenomenon, +1 forward when dealing with it. So I think that
Mhm.
applies now. Eee, that'll do.
Okay. Uh glitch. Glitch.
What are my options?
Do you want me to drop them in chat for you?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Oh no.
Um, the camera goes in tight to you and panning from you back and forth to this this person as you are finishing, conceptual circle, closing it and empowering and working the magic. There is a moment after you finish where you feel the working beginning, and you could see the substance of the figure beginning to like fall apart almost, like it is being sent somewhere else. As that happens, the eyes swivel. They look in your direction, Harlow, but they don't seem to latch on to anything, right? But from the mouth, everybody hears a distinctly feminine sounding voice say, as this figure is fading, "Now who did that?" As the figure fades away. There's nobody sitting in here. And that is where we will end this session.